Let's put all of this shit on the floor. Why do you niggas keep talking about me? First off, I was never your hoe. I ain't wanna be part of your team. I was repping your shit, I was putting y'all on. How could you switch up on me? All these niggas be lying on track. Tramel be keeping it paid. So all of them niggas I've been it. If they needed a girl, I sit there. My people be telling me in it. I ain't listen, I wanna get back. I be thinking about all of the times I was hanging with niggas that really didn't like me. Every day I was cutting them off. Cause them niggas was willing to try me. I always said a couple of bands on a couple of niggas that still at the bottom. I've been thinking about quitting and quitting and quitting. I don't even care about the stardom. I'm like, fuck all these niggas, they wasting my time. But I still think about calling. Every day I just sit back and think about dying. I really think about falling. All my niggas so weird, I don't do right. My shooter be ready to shoot back. I've been stacking this paper, you knew that. He said he missed me, I can't even do that. I can't wait till he make him a new pet. I be flexing on niggas with 2 racks. I be flexing on niggas that 2 facts. You did me dirty when you could've moved back. All my niggas so weird, I don't do right. And my shooter be ready to shoot back. I've been stacking this paper, you knew that. He said he missed me, I can't even do that. I can't wait till they make him a new pet. I be flexing on niggas with 2 racks. I be flexing on niggas that 2 facts. You did me dirty when you could've moved back. Let's put all of this shit on the floor. Why you niggas keep talking about me? First off, I was never your hoe. I ain't wanna be part of your team. I was repping your shit, I was putting y'all on. How could you switch up on me? All these niggas be lying on trap. Tramel be keeping it true. Shout out to all of my fans, hear my dance. Some of these bumpers just can't. I'm making all of these bands. Fuck is you saying? Bitch, I'ma do it again. I'm selling all of my tickets. Look at these bitches. You don't see none of they shows. Only one year coming in this. Nigga, I'm winning. They said I'm doing the most. I'm that princess. When they gon' get there? I don't see nobody taking my throne. Every time that I walk on the stage, I see all my tricks that they cheering me on. I can't wait till I pick up the mic and start hitting my emos when they turn me on. Why you niggas keep trying to come back every day? All them niggas was doing me wrong. Shout out to all of my fans. Hit my dance. Some of these bumpers just can't. I'm making all of these bands. Fuck is you saying? Bitch, I'ma do it again. 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 Let's put all of this shit on the floor. Why you niggas keep talking about me? First off, I was never your hoe. I ain't wanna be part of your team. I was repping your shit, I was putting y'all on. How could you switch up on me? All these niggas be lying on trap. Tramel be keeping it paid. Shout out to coconut water. Coconut water. Coconut water, coconut water, and make sure that's cookie tea. Bobby is Florida, he said I look like a bad hoe. I'm like your hold up, I'm trying to hop on your face and spark it up like a mortar. Coconut water, coconut water, and make sure that's cookie tea. Bobby is Florida, he said I look like a bad hoe. I'm like your hold up, I'm trying to hop on your face and spark it up like a mortar. He think I act like a bougie, bitch, I keep this Susie. Clip, I just crystal on me, it's gonna make me juicy. I could rock over, but now I got on that Gucci shit. If you keep talking, then I'ma act like a moody. He said I act like a bad hoe. I'm like a hoe. I just got me a tan. Whoa, I need Florida. I keep this bitch in my sand. Toes, I keep it loaded. I'm in Dakota. Sipping my Coca-Cola. Coconut water. He said he let me think all in my orders. I treat that little bitch like she one of my daughters. I got the country, but I stay in the zone. I told her clap it in my face. Leave a trace. Can I take the cake? Fix it in your place. Hold on, wait. Just do what I say. You gon' buy me down every day. Love it in his yay. When he get the cookie, you know he gon' celebrate. Coconut water, coconut water, and make sure the cookie tea. While we in Florida, he said I built like a bad hoe. I'm like your hold up, I'm tryna hop on your face and spark it up like a mortar. Coconut water, coconut water, and make sure the cookie tea. While we in Florida, he said I built like a bad hoe. I'm like your hold up, I'm tryna hop on your face and spark it up like a mortar.
What's going on, Conscious crew? Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. We are one day away from TGIF. My God, today. You already know what we're here to get into, okay? I have not cultivated a chasing reality audience, okay? So most of my audience don't know what the hell we're here talking about. So make sure that you guys run those likes all the way out and get them notifications all the way in, because baby, I had to get all up in this tea, baby. It has been a crazy, wild season. And of course, we have the main attraction here to talk about it today. But before we get into all of that, make sure that you guys thumbs up the video. Not only does thumbing up help with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Also, if you enjoy everything that Kane does here All donation information is in the description box below. Make sure that you also set your notifications to all so that you never miss a day or hour when the king is in fact king. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link, babe. Just go ahead and let them whores know that we're loud, live, and in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, what is going on, Conscious Crew? Get those motherfucking likes up. Y'all already know that I'm here to work, baby. I had to get into season 7 of Chasing Reality Atlanta. My God, I had 2 good reasons. One is because my boo, it's K-Star, aka Carl, okay, made a very legendary entrance into this season. And then, of course, my baby daddy is starring in this season. So I had to push through and show love. Now, mind you, I don't even watch reality TV at this point, and I can't say that I've ever seen an entire season of Chasing Reality anything, but Chasing Reality has made an entire goddamn fan out of me. I think Chasing Reality Atlanta season 7 is one of the, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Chasing Reality, but it's the best of what the hell I done seen out of Chasing Reality. This season gave me like the first 4 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It started off so innocent. The shade was just enough. There was a bouginess and a glamour and an upscaleness there. And then, of course, shit got real dark, and now that's TV-ish. And I'm here to get into all of the thrills and highs and lows of the season. Now, before we get into the thick of our discussion, I want to give this disclaimer, okay? Everything that I'm going to say here tonight is based upon my perception and my opinion as a viewer who also happens to be a commentator, all right? My thoughts are not per se personal. It's not that I don't like anyone on the cast. It's not that I'm even biased toward anyone on the cast, because as you guys are going to hear tonight, baby, that wig tugging is going to be to the left and to the right, baby. The pendulum is going to be swinging in all directions because we go out of our way here, okay, to be as fair and balanced as we possibly can. Now, I did the liberty of not only watching the season, I have privied myself to also watching all of the things that have happened off of the season as well. There's been lots of panels. There have been lots of interviews throughout the season. There's been lots of interviews before and after, multiple parts of the reunion. So I can't say that I've seen every single comment section. I might not have seen every interview, but I have seen more than enough to make, at the very least, an informed perspective that I am open to changing. So if there's any castmates here, producers, etc., and going forward, you are always more than welcome to hit the link to be in the chat to clarify anything for me. I have no dog ultimately in the race, and charge it to my head and not my heart. But wig tugging is going to take place. Now, with no further ado, let's bring in and usher in someone who's not a stranger here. He is a moderator. He is a recording artist. He's one of my favorite reality TV stars, and he is one of my favorite baby daddies. Tramel. How art thou?
Thou arting.
Thou arting. My God, today, Tramel, we have so much to discuss. There's been so much we've been discussing behind the scenes. I can tell the audience right now, y'all. Me and Tramel are probably going to do our fair share of agreeing and definitely disagreeing. But it's going to be, all fair and good and entertainment. And whatever happens in Vegas tonight, baby, stays in motherfucking Vegas. This is all business tonight. All business.
All business.
All business. Before we get into everything that is going on with you, everything going on with this amazing season. Shout out to Ondario, shout out to Jamar, shout out to the things, girl. Y'all really put y'all's dish bottles into this goddamn season. Tell the folk where they can find you, a little bit about who you are, Tramel, and then we get into the things.
You can follow me. You can find me at @IAM_Tramel, Tramel. You can find me everywhere. I just be chilling. I be kicking it, making my music. You can follow me at Tramel on all streaming platforms. Check me out.
All right.
Now where's the see-through shirt?
Yeah, where are the titties? Where are the
no
titties?
Titties at the top.
Okay, so look, I think we got to go in swinging, and then we're going to work our way back, y'all. There are going to be things that we're going to get into that you guys will probably be surprised that we're even tapping into. But this is going to be full circle. And look, everybody want to call me. I've been on the phone with attorneys all day. It has been insane. And look, this does not happen until I'm really serious about something. And then all of a sudden, the world just wants to light up. Part 3 of the reunion aired last night. Tramel, it was absolutely fucking explosive. I mean, I knew y'all were going to get ghetto and 911 was going to be called, but I had no idea it was going to be as turned as it was. If y'all were turning tables. But before we get into part 3, there was a part 1 and 2 of this reunion. We know that Dominique Morgan, trans woman, trans activist, a notable figure within the community, hosted part 1 and part 2. There's been lots of things said about Dominique from the cast since part 1 and part 2 has aired. Uh-oh. Are you frozen, Tramel? Can you hear me? Is it me, you guys?
I can hear you.
Whoa. I think you got a little bit of breakage going on over there, baby father.
I do?
Yeah, and you're frozen.
I'm
okay.
Frozen?
Well,
I feel like I'm moving.
Hello? Now your face is frozen as a frown.
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, great. He's going to be back, y'all. So y'all run them lights up, honey. Let the folk know that the Kangs are, in fact, Kanging. Tramel is going to get that Boost mobile signal together, girl, and get up in here. Let me read some. Oh, here he is. I was going to read some of the comments. Bloop. Okay, you're back. You look.
I was frozen?
I mean, the connection is struggling a little bit now, but it's clearing up. It was kind of pixelated, but you're coming into frame. I think we're good. Okay. Dominique Morgan got her ass locked up. She's doing 21 days, and then she'll be officially sentenced. You are freezing again, but you ain't got to worry about that. If you have to calm down, then just calm down. We ain't going to worry about you coming in and out. I don't know why it's coming in and out, but she took her ass to jail, and she's going to be officially sentenced, I think, at the end of this month. We don't know exactly what that's going to entail, whether Miss Dominique Morgan is coming home or whether she will be doing another 15 years. She is, unfortunately, a repeat offender. She's been arrested and accosted before for fraud and similar allegations. So right out of the gate, I got to ask you, do you believe the Fed's case against Dominique? Because people have mixed reviews. Of course, Dominique has hoot and hollered about her innocence and that she ultimately is going to kiss the ring because she just wants to get all this over with, but bowing down, taking a plea deal, pleading guilty does not imply that she's actually guilty of what she's been accused of. So do you believe Dominique, or do you believe in the legitimacy of the government's case against her ass?
Honestly, I really don't know. She did say she did 10 years in jail.
Yes.
In prison. And she was like, she's not a stranger to some things. So I can't really say. It does not look good. She talked about what's $100,000 in restitution and embezzlement or something from yeah. So I don't know. I can't really say it, but I will say that She was a great host, but baby, when that jail stuff popped up, I was like, well, I don't know why it just was like, okay, well, it wasn't a shocker, I guess.
Yeah.
I will say that it wasn't a shocker. I don't know if she's innocent or guilty, but it wasn't a shocker because she had already told us that she was having stints with the law. And I wasn't really like, so when it happened, I was like, oh, wow. Not shocked, but goddamn.
Isn't it surprised that she, according to the feds, took money that was supposed to be allocated toward protecting people who are now in the predicament that she's in motherfucking prison?
Yeah.
My God, today. Now, speaking of you stating that she was a great host, that's gotten mixed reviews. Some of your castmates came out and said that Miss Dominique was a billion hours late, which is why there had to be a part 3. Y'all had to do a part 3 because of Dominique's tardiness to the party. Can you speak on how tardy she was, and did you think she did well as a hostess?
So I will say, like I said before, I think she did a really good job as a host. There were some times where she was a little long-winded, I will say, and she was putting herself into the situations where they didn't need to be. But I do think that she was doing a very good job of, keeping the storyboard moving and keeping everybody engaged. She was fucking up some names, but she was 3 hours late. She was supposed to be there at 9, and we were supposed to start around 10. She didn't get there till almost, I want to say 12. She was supposed to be there at 9.
My God. I mean, how did y'all feel about that? Because I would have had to wear Dominique's wig, clean off her motherfucking head. You got me fucked up.
A lot of us were pressing for a replacement. We were asking, because we had Twan Dixon, the therapist, there. He had hosted a reunion for Chasing Orlando, and we even asked Dario to do it.
Put a pause in it right there. Did he do a great job? I'm new to Chasing. Did he do a great job as a host?
Yes, he did. I think he did a great job.
Don't be biased, Tramel. Just because you got some of your demons now. Did he do good as a host, not as a therapist?
No, I think he did a really good job as a host. He kept control of the cast over there, and he kept them on task. So they were able to complete their reunion over there.
Okay, nice. And he was in the building. Since Dario ended up doing part 3, I'm surprised he didn't just jump in the seat and just make it happen and drive that car.
From what I've heard, Dario, he really had an affinity to not ever host. He didn't want to do it at all. He was advocating against it really heavy. So when it was time for him to step up, but he did, and he did a really good job to me.
Now, see, baby, all that smoke that Tony been giving Althea, which we'll get to, honey, she should have also been given to Miss Joanne the Scammer. Okay?
Oh, she did. She gave her a little. I think she gave her a little side eye every now and then, but she's not gonna check the girls in public. That's her friend in real life, so she was like, I can get her on the back end.
Okay, on the back end. Was there any?
He gone. Hey, y'all.
Okay. See, that spirit on Tramel technology done jumped onto my goddamn technology.
No, it did.
That's how damn empathic I am, child. Y'all see how I just be Bluetoothing into other people's problems, and they be literally becoming my damn own. Jesus Christ. Or maybe Morgan is working that damn hoodoo girl from Cell Block 8 on me. I don't know. Now, what's going on, Carl? Hey, boo. Tony was pissed, honey. Shout out to you, Carl, for an amazing motherfucking season, child. Okay, so speaking of Dominique, because some people did feel like, girl, she was being more of a therapist than a host. People felt like she was interrupting where she should not have been. She should have let y'all emote it a lot more than what y'all were. It was a little bit too stern, maybe even too serious. Do you feel like that? Like, what did you appreciate about her hosting?
I appreciated her wittiness. Her way with words was very, very interesting to me. I thought it was, there were some places where she could have backed off a little bit, but there were some moments where she was really getting in the paint and stuff. So I will say, yes, two things can be true at once. Child, she definitely could have shut up in some spaces, but she definitely was moving the story and not letting people over talk. And she was definitely, keeping us in line for most of it.
Baby, y'all had Miss Morgan feeling herself, girl. She thought she was the queen of Britain, coming up in that motherfucker 3 hours later, and then had the audacity to think she was a y'all van Zont, and she 3 hours later, baby. I'm telling you, baby, easily would have turned into a 911 call. All right, shout out to Dominique Morgan. So part 3 aired last night. Fucking explosive. People got out of seats. People caught Ubers back home. The tissues were tissuing. The tear ducts were tear ducting. I want to get into one of the most heaviest conflicts of the season, which has to do with no other than Miss Supernova herself and Miss Alfie, girl. They had it going the fuck on this season. And their storyline arc has had such an impact now that it has actually divided the Chasing Realities consumer base. There are people who are saying they don't want to see Nova ever again if she dare returns like a full blood red moon, that they are going to withhold their viewership and their support. There are already people saying that because of how they feel Althea was treated, that they are not supporting the show anymore. The fans believe that you guys don't like natural born women, that you guys do not like straight women. They believe that you guys did not protect Alfie and her baby hairs. They feel like y'all coddled the hell out of Nova and her middle part. They feel like y'all just kissed her ass and Nova could do no wrong, and that y'all were giving little light kitty taps on her while giving it up to Alfie and driving her mad. She almost had to go damn see Dr. Phil because of y'all. I mean, baby, the people are pressed, girl. They are in their fifis about how y'all treated Miss Fifi, girl. They are tearing y'all up almost in every comment section, under every damn trailer, under every damn episode, girl. I thought that based upon the outcry for Althea, I thought, girl, it's been giving Althea Luther King, girl. They have resurrected, okay, a newfound modern day civil rights leader in Miss Althea, girl. And I want to talk to you about all of that. So let's kind of do this in a very organized way because there's a lot going on. So, Nova, here's the thing. I'm going to ask you directly. Well, first of all, did you know Nova prior to her coming into the cast?
No, I did not.
No. So you had not gotten your dicks up for $5 on the sidewalk or anything. You had not visited her at the alleged Red Roof Inn. There had been none of the things that had took place. Okay, that's according to the folk, Nova. That ain't got nothing to do with me, baby. I'm just here to do a show. Like you were there to do a show for this season and you showed your ass. So there was no prior transactions, no professional transactions, no social transactions, no none of that.
Oh my God.
What?
No, there was. I met her at the Fab event thrown by another cast member, Quentin Lamar.
Okay, shout out to Quentin Lamar. We follow each other on his Insta. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you, based upon your experience looking back in retrospect, do you believe that Nova is a insecure, anti-black, cis-phobic, two-faced, self-projecting colorist?
Do I think she's in? Let's go piece by piece, okay?
Okay.
Do I think she's insecure? I think no, she's not insecure. I think she has a skewed view of her. I think her experience from her past has really skewed her view on the outlook of the world. So from what I gathered and what she told me, many months down the line, that her mother, you know, and her father, her biological parents, they kicked her out at 16, so she had nowhere to go. And the friends that she had when she started transitioning, all of them women, because we I guess, you know, some people don't like to be called cis, so I'll just say women. All of them women, when she was just a gay boy, they were friends, but like when she started transitioning, they all turned their back on her and they started treating her badly. And so I think she developed a lot of trust issues. I don't think she's necessarily insecure about herself, but insecure about people in general and very weary of people. I think she has a very guarded soul. But it's still not no excuse because she lashed out at some people. So what else did you say?
insecure, self-projecting, cisphobic? Do you believe that she's cisphobic?
I believe she has her boundaries up for people specifically of women of cisgender, however you want to take that. But I think she does have some reservations when it comes to how she interacts with women. Yes.
Okay. Something has flown away from me. I don't know what it is. All right. Althea has garnered a lot of support from the community, not only just from Natural Born Woman, but also from gay men who also feel as though Althea was left to rot. Do you feel like the support for Althea is kind of disproportionate? Is there something that we don't understand or know about Althea that you could clarify as it relates to this perception that Althea was being bullied and you guys did nothing to really protect her? I did do a review on this and have a separate conversation on my platform where I give you props because I saw you trying to stand in the gap for her at the Lemon Squeeze. And then I also know that Q apparently also, you know, spoke up for her as well. And then we also saw unedited footage on part 3 of the reunion of Dominique outside in the gang holding her accountable for, you know, the comments she made that drove Althea to want to whip her ass at the shindig. And Althea even had to admit on part 3 that, you know, I did not know this. I just didn't know that, you know, all this wig tugging was going on. You know, I was watching like everybody else was watching. Right. So what do you have to say to the Chasing Reality audience about their claims that you guys really don't like cis woman and that this cis woman was left to be gaslit all season? She was made to take responsibility for things more than Nova was made to take responsibility for things, etc.
I guess we'll talk about the email gate later.
Yes.
I think in from my point of view, of course I knew Althea before we were filming. I met her like a year before prior, just like in the, you know, the singing circuit, you know what I'm saying? We performed at a couple of places together, and she was always so sweet and so great. I mean, she still is. I mean, she's still a sweet lady. And I think when she came onto the show, she was really like a part of the gang from my perspective. Like, she was talking to everybody. We were all talking. We were all getting to know each other. I think what the shift did happen at the game night when, you know, Nova did bring up some information that she should not have brought up. And, you know, I actually was like, when it happened, I mean, everybody was shocked. I know I was. And I just was like, I need another drink. I was too drunk. I was too drunk for this. But I did grab Althea. Like, I was one of the people that grabbed Althea. I didn't speak to Nova because I didn't really know Nova. I knew Althea, obviously. So I grabbed Althea, and I told her that night, I said, girl, I want you to not worry about this because we do not know your baby daddy whatsoever. This is not a thing that you should have to worry about. This is not anything that has anything to do with you or your child, because she kept screaming, I'm a mother. And I understand. But I told her, like, I'm like, girl, you'll be all right. Like, this is not the end of the world. If you don't want to talk about this, you do not have to. You don't have to bring this up. I know you had this reaction, but it was kind of like, girl, we can get past this. I just got cussed out myself. So I was kind of like, you know, trying to uplift her in that moment and just let her know, like, this is not the end all be all. But of course she had her feelings about, you know, rightfully so. And then more things happened in our group chat that was a mess, where the, you know, Nova said, and I said, this is really sad. I said, y'all are making me sad. I remember saying that in the group chat when Nova said, your son needs to bookmark this episode, which was really fucked up. And Althea, I guess, I don't know who talked to her after that. I know that production reached out to her. I don't know what cast members reached out to her specifically during that time period.
Was it Dominique? Somebody said at part 3 that they reached. Was it Sammy?
Yes, I know Ken said he reached out to her. I think Sammy had told me he reached out to her, and Dominique had reached out to her. But I do know that production had talked to her, and I
Yeah.
do know that we were all kind of like in shock of what happened, but we were also very much like, you know, Nova's wrong, and you know, Althea didn't deserve that, and we were all like, girl, that's fucked up. But she sent the email, and the email was pretty much her quitting. She pretty much
Say
like
no more,
quit.
Tramel. Let's actually read the email.
Oh, I'm not reading all that. I read it one time. I can't read that again.
I'm gonna read it. I know y'all didn't think I ain't come prepared,
Oh
baby.
my
Let's get into
God.
email gate.
I can't
Okay,
read
because
that email again.
Jesus. Let me blow this up because I'm half blind my damn self, despite how beautiful I am. Y'all run the lights all the way up, honey. We're getting into the things. Okay, so what Althea said in this email that stirred and rocked the table was, with a heart heavy yet clear, I am choosing to share my truth regarding my departure from Chasing Atlanta. What was meant to be a platform for healing, truth, and empowerment has turned into something I can no longer be a part of in good conscience. From the very beginning, I was transparent with Andario and production. I did not want to showcase or exploit the circumstances surrounding my child's father. That boundary was not only ignored, it was violated, and not only by a stranger, but by someone that I once believed to be a sister in the shared struggle of womanhood. At Tony's ball off camera and in what I believe was a private, unguarded moment, I shared something deeply personal about my journey, specifically to normalize how many of us have had to turn to sex work as a means of survival while chasing our dreams. I shared that vulnerability to create connection, not content. That moment was then twisted and weaponized by Nova, not from a place of honesty, but out of opportunism and for screen time. The tension came to a head at Q's party. Up until that point, Nova and I had no visible issues. We had walked fashion shows together, taken pictures, and even had casual conversations. But that night, her behavior revealed a pattern of silent resentment. It started with passive jabs about my singing. Then during a group game, she crossed a line, making a humiliating and calculated comment about my child's father being gay for pay. Let me be clear, I never said that. I never said he sells photos on Twitter. Still, that was a private matter once I had already shared with the group in full on my own terms. Her portrayal was intentional and cruel. Yes, I got in her face. I was hurt, shocked, and deeply offended, but I maintained control. I did not hit her. In fact, someone asked me, why was I standing? So I sat back down until Nova stood up, which prompted me to stand again. Nova, however, did attempt to strike me, escalating what was already a violent or a volatile situation. That is something I would never respect. What hurt even more than her attack was the lack of protection I received from production in that moment. Note, yes, they checked on me, but it was after. My +1 was banned, removed from the space where I had hoped to feel safe simply because I wanted to feel supported. Meanwhile, Nova's behavior was not only tolerated, it was enabled. When chaos broke out, production ran after her, not after me, not after the woman who had just been disrespected, humiliated, and blindsided. The moment spoke volumes. I was not protected. I was not prioritized. I was disposable in the face of someone's spectacle. To Q, Tramel, Sammy, Noel, and maybe Carl, I can't remember, but I truly appreciate y'all for being there for me in that moment. My best friend who was present did what any real friend should do. She prepared to step in. She did not hit Nova, but she made it clear that I would not be left to defend myself alone. While I deeply respect Nova's journey as a transgender woman and affirm the womanhood of all trans women, we must also speak truthfully. In conflict, we are not always treated equally. Respect goes both ways. You cannot provoke someone, throw the first strike, and then cry victim when they respond. I believe Nova's actions come from a place of deep insecurity, not just toward me, but toward any woman who confidently stands in her light. The insecurity has shown itself before in the lies she spread about Tony, another powerful woman, just to create a storyline. Nova falsely claimed that she was invited to walk Tony's ball, which was never true. But when your own story doesn't land, some people will reach for someone else's light just to try and dim them. And on that note, I say fuck y'all. My God, today. That is really loaded. And I know Carl is emoting, girl. Them locks are standing up on his head like lightning has hit the tip, girl. It's It's K-Star says, Althea, please. It's a reality show. Stop telling people your goddamn business. Her fault for bringing it up and Nova for using it against her. Okay, so Carl is tugging on both wigs here. And so my question to the cast is, because I've heard this from reviewers and some people alike, who say, girl, why did you share that? This is reality TV. I know that she didn't think she was being recorded because the cameras were nowhere to be found, but she was on a hot mic and really didn't understand that that could be used if needed be on the screen. But my whole thing is, this is reality TV, Tramel. You all are here to tell y'all goddamn business. Y'all all are here to open up your lives to each other and to hundreds of thousands and potentially millions of goddamn people. Who is one reality star to tell other reality stars not to tell their goddamn business when that's literally what y'all are not being paid to actually do? Even though that's what y'all do as reality stars.
To tell our business?
Yeah, like we all up in Ken's business with his in vitro and the unfortunate loss of the baby he was having through his surrogate, sending him like in love. We heard about Q's jail experience and him unfortunately being S8 in prison, light in love to Q. I mean, yeah, people put their relationships on display. People, put the fact that their mothers were enduring cancer treatments. Yeah, you guys are reality stars. This is the premise of the show, is to have some type of access to the intimacies, maybe to some degree the vulnerabilities. You open up the scene, and rest in peace to your cousin, open up about something very tragic in your life. Also, talking about a song that meant a lot to you that had to do with a relationship that meant a lot to you. So here it is. Everybody is emoting. Everybody is choosing to be vulnerable about whatever they feel they should. Is she really fucking wrong for trying to relate to the group and choosing to share whatever the fuck she felt she, wanted to share in that moment with anyone? Is that really a whole felony here?
I think like I said, two things can be true at once. I wish she would not have shared that, obviously, for the reasons of why these things are happening now. You don't know these people, and you don't need to tell people things, because from what I know is that she never wanted that to be revealed on the show. So why are you telling strangers that? Now, if she would have told me, obviously, girl, I would have said, don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
If you don't want nobody to know, do not tell nobody that. But I kind of recall the conversation because I was there when it happened, but it was really just people just talking. And I was on my own little wave about what I had to talk about later on that day anyway, because I had to get a bitch about some hot dogs. So it was kind of like, yeah, I heard her say it, I think, in a way, just like talking about her baby's father. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I don't know why she's talking to them, because she don't know them, but because I don't know them, I wouldn't tell them a goddamn thing. But like I said, Althea is very sweet. She's very trusting. She was very trusting. I don't know how she feels now. That was last year. This year, she probably knows a little bit better. But that's not to say that people shouldn't be trusted with information as well. Like I said, it's two sides to the coin. And Nova should not have said that. Because like I said before, I was shocked as fuck when she said it. I was like, girl, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, this happened in June of 2025, June 20th, 2025. I keep my receipts and I know my dates. Yeah. June 20th, 2025. And yeah, it was like, okay, right after that, like, you only know these people like a month before that. Like, it was really like, you just met her like 2 weeks before, and now you're telling her your business that you don't want to be told. I wish she would not have done that. Like, don't be that's like walking up to a stranger and telling them your deepest, darkest secret. Don't do that. But also, as a deep, dark secret, we're supposed to be in community and we're supposed to be getting to know each other. And that's what she was into. Nova should not have said that either. Yeah. She shouldn't have said that to nobody, and she shouldn't have used that as a ploy to get back at her for whatever reason that she was upset about. Like, I'm not gonna say, I don't know, the vaginal, what is it, bacterial vaginosis? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if she was mad about that, I told Nova when I finally sat down with her, and I will say the date, it was, I think, September, my first actual sit down. Mind you, we've been filming since April.
Mm-hmm.
No, was it September? No, it was August. I lied. August.
Mm-hmm.
August, when I finally sat down with Nova after being filming around her since April, my first thing to say to her was, girl, I wish you would have, if you had a problem with Althea, I wish you would have pulled her to the side and just, handled that or asked her what was going on. She was like, well, we here now. Like, it's just like, girl. So, yeah, I think both sides was fucked up. She shouldn't have told her, but Nova definitely shouldn't have brought it up.
I feel weird about saying Althea shouldn't have told it. I think I'm not sure if I feel that it's shoulda or should not. More
Yeah,
so
but it's like you don't know these people, and if it's something that you don't want people to know, you gotta keep that.
So here's what I surmise, just from applying a little bit of common sense, is that by her telling the castmates versus not wanting to talk about it, before the cameras, was she never thought that information was going to be weaponized, because she was obviously coming to a space really giving everybody an opportunity to really develop a friendship. And she was trying to come off as sincere and communicative and transparent and just trying to bond and to mesh within this group. But she didn't want necessarily that to be a part of her storyline arc and that information to be per se publicized for the show. And she kind of in her mind compartmentalized y'all in that way, like, oh, like I'm gonna get to know these people. We're gonna be able to have what we're gonna be able to have, and then we'll all be able to also control our own image throughout the show. That there's not going to be all of what then became of that. I can't say that she's guilty for that. I mean, I'm not sure it's a battle right or wrong, more so than she made a choice and someone ended up probably making her regret that choice, unfortunately, which ended up being over.
Like, at the end of the day, it's her business. So you're not right or wrong for telling anything that is your business. But at the same time, it's like you have to learn, like, you don't go to your. So I think of everybody like at that particular time, all of us were co-workers, not me and her particularly, but like the rest of them, like, girl, you don't know them, so you're gonna go to the job and your first or second day on the job, because I think that was our second time actually meeting each other. And you're gonna go to your job on the second day and be like, hey, guess what? And then when your coworker get mad at you, she ain't supposed to run and say, girl, I know this business about her, and tell it in front of the whole office. It's like, we don't know each other that well. We don't know each other well enough to tell our business. And we also don't know each other well enough to tell each other's business. So I'm kind of like, damn. It's more so like with Althea, I wish she never did it. Not that she was wrong and she's just opening up and being herself and being, sweet. I wish she wouldn't have did it. But also Nova, I'm like, girl, damn. You didn't have to do that at all. Like, at all. It's like, fuck. And it ruined a lot of stuff. And if I had known it was this bad, I think all of us, I mean, we knew it was going to be bad. I knew particularly that it was going to be bad. But I thought that it would not be a thing that was drawn out so much. And I'll tell you why later, I guess, if we go down the timeline of what actually happened versus what was going on.
Okay, so let's start with what actually happened. The shindig. Why the fuck do you think that Nova took the BV comment so personally when it was completely obvious that Fifi was just literally informing the cast? Because we could hear y'all in the scene saying, what the fuck is BV? Is that Bravo? I think K-Star said, is it Bravo, for God's sakes? Like, so Althea is just literally delivering data and saying, no, it's something that we can get from wearing tight clothes, tight panties. Yeah. Being mad at my nigga can cause my pH balance to result in a motherfucking yeast and yeast. Like, what is the tea? And Miss Nova decided to, did you guys hear that? Did you guys see that?
So this is retrospect for everybody. We didn't know why she did that.
For her, huh?
Well, this is retrospect for everybody. We didn't know why she did that to Althea. We never knew what
she
that
was on the show, right?
No, we never knew. That was confessionals.
Yeah, in the moment. Yeah,
we didn't know exactly why she did that. We had no idea.
I get that. But does anybody feel like Nova was being condescending in the moment? Because it was like her condescension was completely obvious You know, when she was just like, oh, like, you know, oh, we don't get that. Yeah, you would know about that. You would know about that. And then she started pedestalizing herself as a trans woman who is absolved of getting BV, when the reality is that post-op trans women also can contract BB for all the same reasons that natural born women can. So it's weird that Nova is a whole trans woman advocating for trans women and really don't know much about being a trans woman. I, as a cisgender, same gender loving unit, badass bitch, probably know more about the female anatomy and the damn trans woman's anatomy than Nova seemed to have known. So her comment was ill-informed. She insulted Althea about something that also post-op trans women can experience and have endured. Did it sound as condescending? Because when we see it, it's like Nova done lost
It's
her mind.
polarizing when y'all see it, but being in that moment, being in that space, being in that time, I remember drinking. I remember drinking, and I remember exactly how it went, and it was so casual to me to watch. And I will say this, just a little bit of tea for everybody in the audience. I don't know, take it how you will. But Nova was the only trans woman of trans experience in the room. There were four, including Althea. There was four women, other women, natural born women in the room. So Nova being like the oddball out, I guess, if you want to say that. So I guess in that space, it was kind of like, okay, we're listening to it. And I was like, we don't know what it is. I don't even know who pulled the card. Did she pull the card?
She pulled the card.
She pulled the card. So when we were all like, BV, we were like, what is that? We all looking around like, what is that? And, you know, Althea was like, oh, that's bacterial vaginosis. It's just something, you know, that happens when, you know, she was explaining it. And Nova was like, oh, well, that's just like, I guess I don't have to worry about that. This is literally how it sounded to me. She's like, oh, I guess I don't have to worry about that. She's like, and then Althea was like, yeah, it's something that we ladies have to deal with. And we just went on with the rest of the night. And then the whole thing gets pulled out of proportion. I'm like, what? How did we get here? So when she told me in August, after June to August, after we had our first sit down, she said, yeah, the when she was being funny with me at the game when we about the BV, I was like, that's what you was mad about? She's like, yeah, it just felt like she was trying to be funny. I was like, well, girl, I said, girl, well, I wish you would have talked to her, like, because Althea's not like that. Like, she just, if you would have just talked to her, it would have been cool. She's like, well, I didn't think it would be that serious about the baby daddy thing. So I don't know. We just got there and, you know, I just, you know,
Hold
it just
on.
went
Nova
that way.
said that?
Huh?
So Nova said that?
Yeah. It
And
was filmed, but it was cut out.
And that's also another lie, because in her literal confessional, she says, oh, I got something for that bitch. So that was completely premeditated. She used it as a gag. She knew it was going to be a gag.
Hey,
she had intended to get her lick back. She had
confessionals are filmed. The confessionals was filmed like 3 months after.
When they are filmed, she's telling us something about what her intent was and what was in her heart and mind at that time. So we know that it was premeditated.
That was premeditated for her. So
and this is the problem that a lot of people have with Nova is the plea copying. It's like, if you're going to be the Natalie Nunn and the bad bitch of the show, then
Natalie Nunn, you won't do Natalie Nunn like that now.
Then you do just that. You hold that spot, you engage in that energy, and you deal with the consequences and repercussions of being a badass bitch, being a shit starter, and being a provocateur amongst a goddamn group. But the reason why her apology, even on the reunion, fell very short when she started going into the whole thing about, you know, I was raised by a Trinidadian dark-skinned black-ass woman who took me in. Jamaican, Trinidadian, this Black Africana goddess who took me in when my biological parents didn't want to. And she did all that. The reason why it didn't land, Tramel, is because it's going to completely come off as insincere and performative when you don't demonstrate a humanity until your ass is on the cross. The fact that you don't demonstrate...
I'm surprised she even did that. She did not give me... I tell you, we all talked... Well, I don't know. I will say me. I talked to Nova multiple times. Every time Nova has said something that I did not like, that I caught. I said to her, I was like, girl, why you say that? And what you trying to do? Like, they not gonna like that. These people gonna get you. She's like, I know, right? I'm like, girl, oh, she don't give a fuck. I'm like, I'm gonna keep on pushing because I got stuff to do. So I ain't got time. That's their friend at that time. That was like, that's their friend. I don't know her that well. And if she's cool with it, baby, I'm gonna let her rock with it. I said, girl, just don't read the comments because they're not gonna like you, Bookie. It's like, they gonna hate your motherfucking ass. And that's the only accountability I have for her. Because at the time it was kind of like, Althea's my girl. No, but we haven't had too many conversations. So it's like, I don't know what you really own. Like, I wasn't really around her in her vicinity like that. Like I said, we've been filming since from April to August. I saw Nova. We would speak in passing. She was always very nice to me, and she was like, "Hey, baby, hey, how you doing?" or whatever. She would sit in the corner most of the time. After that game night, that's when the activation started, and I was just like, girl, this is a new you. I don't know." So I'm just chilling, trying to figure out what's going on. But I also have my own problems. So I think people were getting that conflated too. We was all still, the boys were still dealing with each other, trying to keep the girls from each other. So it's like, damn. How are we supposed to move?
Nova, your apology on the reunion fell flat because nobody saw you be a human being until your feet was being held to the fire. And that's why nobody gave a fuck about how you were raised and who took you in, and your so-called love for women's community and Black women's community, because you had an opportunity all season to treat the Black woman you had access to like a motherfucking woman that you respected, and you did not. Okay, so I'm sorry that you gave us a humanity-oriented moment that nobody gave a fuck about, just like Tramel didn't give a fuck about Q's crocodile tears when he was copping pleas in their dialogue about what the fuck does 1 + 1 have to do with a motherfucking two in this bitch. Okay, we're gonna get to that as well. All right, now another part of criticism, because the Althea Nova story, because I like Nova too, but I understand why people don't like her ass. I'm not delusional. I mean, we all understand why. Yeah, I'm not delusional. I don't, just because I like Nova don't mean that I don't get it, because I completely get it, and I agree with everybody's sentiments about Nova. Y'all have been criticized for disproportionately centering things around Fifi's response to all of this. Do y'all accept that even if Fifi was edited from Nova's storyline arc, that she still would be likable? And likable for a few reasons outside of Althea. Some of those reasons would be because she lied on Tony, for one, an OG who people are familiar with, and they know Tony's integrity. She lied on this lady for no reason, completely got delusional, and made up a scenario that had no reality to it. She threw you and Carl under the bus when y'all had been so kind and so sweet to her in her middle part. She also projected onto Noel the first time she met him and accosted him for having the audacity to be a goddamn cross-dresser. Then we found out on part 3 that she weaponized Q's SA against him. She generalized all natural-born women. She glorified her light-skinnedness as a clapback to a dark-skinned woman who simply called her insecure, making that comment not necessary and without context, leading to the fact that the only context that could be there is colorism. Because why the fuck are you responding to uplifting your light-skinnedness when Althea is saying you're insecure because you're projecting and creating a boogeyman where there doesn't need to be one? You're creating a villain where there could be an ally and a sister that says, I ain't got nothing to do with this. And your first response out of the gate is, I'm light-skinned and I ain't got no reason to be. I'm beautiful. I mean, that statement is loaded in the context in which she's warring it out with a dark-skinned Black woman who's trying to have a genuine moment of introspection and accountability with her, and she takes the most shallow, dense, problematic approach to that. But there's 50 million fucking reasons why, you know, I mean, her comments about scapegoating in and out of blackness. Oh, I'm not black all of a sudden after you done niggered it up all throughout the season, after you've completely placated into the goddamn culture. Now all of a sudden, girl, oh, I'm not black. And once again, that was said with as much condescendingness as the BB vagina, the baby daddy, go get you some Vagisil comments, where it was loaded with this tension.
I
that
could not with you.
it was loaded with this tension that
Jesus.
I completely understand why the public, you know, feels the way they feel, because I feel the exact same way. So do y'all accept that Althea is only taking up as much space in the conversation because Althea is just a person that Nova targeted consistently, but that this is not solely about disliking Nova because of Althea. There's 50 million 11 other unredeeming, unattractive qualities that are justified why the public don't really fuck with her and don't want to see her again. Do y'all accept that this is not completely exclusively about Althea?
What?
What?
That was a loaded, I don't even know if that was a question.
Okay, so let me say it slow. Do y'all, hold on, let me turn on my camera. Do y'all accept that all of the Althea support is not just because of how Nova treated Althea? That the only reason Althea is benefiting from that is because she's who Nova targeted the most, but that there's also 50 million 11 other reasons to justify why the audience ain't fucking with Nova. It's how she treated you, it's how she treated Carl, it's how she treated Tony, and everybody on part 1 and 2 had to admit, yeah, girl, she dragged all of us. So y'all all admit that she came in swinging. Y'all all admit she's targeted all of y'all. Fifi is just who she's targeted consistently, and her consistently targeting Fifi is just the big icing on the cake. But that this is not just about not liking Nova because Althea is a cis woman and she's so frail and she should be, you know, protected, but that Nova doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities in the eyes of the viewers. They just haven't seen anything they can relate to, anything that they can like, anything they can appreciate. They don't get it. And she's problematic, and she seems to be doubling down in problematicness. Like, do y'all get that this is not just about Althea?
I will say that, like I said, two things can be true at once.
Mm-hmm.
Nova has definitely said some things that nobody would like. And I knew this. We all knew this. She said things about people in particular, but to be honest, the things that she said about herself and things that she said about things that she just don't like, or you know, or just, you know, like you say, othering herself in a black space, I guess, that is what really sent people over in the audience's mind. That's what I feel like. To be perfectly honest, and y'all can hate me all y'all want. I am so sorry. Y'all can hate me all y'all want. She didn't, in my opinion, she didn't say nothing bad enough directly to Althea that I haven't heard from anybody else before on any other platform. She ain't said nothing saying something like what she said to Althea, although it was fucked up. Yes, it was. We've all gotten verbal lashings from her calling us something. I think what's really standing out in people's minds and what they're weaponizing is the fact that, yes, Althea is a cisgender woman, and they just don't want a trans woman talking to a cisgender woman like that, because I think they're hyper focused on Nova talking, or what Nova said to Althea in the beginning, and they're just conflating what they're really mad at and what they really want to get her for on the back end. So they're trying to get her with, see, Tramel isn't equipped for this. Some people just don't have the depth. Baby, I got depth. Y'all just don't look. Y'all are mad. Okay, I'm just gonna say it plain and clear. Y'all mad at Nova.
Hold on. Tramel. I know what you want to do, and I know what you about to do, and I fear what you're about to do. As somebody who loves you, and I don't want you to be the next goddamn Nova up. Just please,
No,
I
I'm
want you
just
to
saying. No, I'm gonna say it. I'm saying Nova said things that were really problematic that people should hyper focus on. Yes, but using Althea as their totem pole to run her to the finish line, like she didn't say. She said Althea's baby daddy was gay for pay. I've been called worse. I literally have been called worse. Been called worse. Been said had worse said about me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, maneuver through that. People support what they support, and I do think that Althea should, get some support, absolutely, because she didn't start nothing with Nova, in my opinion. But moving forward, like, what are y'all really mad at? I just really want people to say what they're really mad at.
I mean, the people are saying I'm mad at I'm not black. All of a sudden, when you're going at it with a black woman, it's I'm light skinned and I'm beautiful and valuable in response to a black woman critiquing her psychology. It's about her not being trustworthy. It's about her generalizing a disdain for all natural born women. But none
of that is particularly straightforward to Althea, to be honest. And Althea has said that multiple times. She said,
"That's my point." That's my point. But that's my point to you, Tramel. Is that like that's what I keep saying, that this is not just about Althea.
It's not just about Althea. And I want people to more so focus on what they're really mad at about Nova versus what they're trying to support about Althea. Because Althea said it to Nova directly. She said, "Girl, I know you're not mad at me. I know you have deeper seated trauma that has nothing to do with me. And although you did come for me and that she was upset, Althea handled it better than y'all think that she did. Y'all making Althea out to be like this weak person that she is not. Althea was very, very stand up on her business, a type of chick. She handled it the best way she could. And the best way she could was better than most, because she didn't back down. When she walked up into that lemon squeeze, that baby walked in with her head held high, with a purse in her hand and a heel on her foot. And she really just sat there and was just like, "Girl, I see you." And Nova did what she did and said what she said about, not liking women. And that was a way to like kind of end the conversation, because she said that polarizing shit. And we just was like, okay, hard stop. And that was the end of it. Now she apologized for it, whether y'all take it or not. She apologized for it. Did I say? I think she said it because she just wanted the conversation to end, because I feel like Althea was kind of getting up under her skin a little bit. So take it how you will.
So I think one of the disconnects from maybe the cast when it comes to the viewers' feelings about Althea and Nova's issues and tensions is that Nova said things that are beyond Althea that can actually be applied and be insulting to the viewers, who are mostly made up of melanated people and mostly made up of natural born women and cis gay men. And so this is about Nova not reading the room, and she said things that gaslit and that could be argued to be racist and anti-black. And
so it's
heartening to people who are invested in chasing, invested in this brand, who support this brand, and did not appreciate not only you guys perceivably, I say perceivably, taking a back seat to those things, but I think they also didn't appreciate chasing the brand, not being more aggressive about addressing things around the issues of colorism, the issues of race. We know that Love and Hip Hop had to do that when it came to Erica Mena and Spice and Blue Monkey and all of this. And it felt as though so many deep things, especially since y'all show is happening in the thick of a culture of racism toward Black and brown people and administration. We have a lot of political and civil upheaval around these issues. And I think that the Black ass audience of Chasing was just exhausted and didn't have much to give to a bitch perceivably coming on the show who didn't see it for Black people in a climate like this, because most of us are racially fatigued right now. And we just don't have a lot of grace. We don't want to see and hear this type of shit, especially in really Black ass spaces, really in so-called protected ass spaces. And Nova missed the mark across the board, and it didn't seem like anybody cared about any of that but the audience.
No. No. Because I even see it, I see it all the time. I've been seeing it since the show pretty much, like, since that third episode happened. Baby, if y'all really just stuck to she's a colorist, if y'all stuck to she hates women, she just has she hates women and stuff like that, that would be fine for me, to be honest, in the comments. But what they're trying to do is they're using she's attacking Althea. Althea is not safe. Althea is not safe around those men. That is not the narrative that is true. If y'all hate Nova, yes. If y'all don't like Nova, fine. Colorist, all of that. Say all of those things. You don't have to misgender her, though. I see a lot of transphobia in the comments, like more so than I would like. And also, it's like, y'all can hate her, things about her, but still respect her womanhood journey, because we do have another woman of trans experience, Tony, on the show. And so Althea, like I said, Althea did her motherfucking thing. They trying to make Althea out to be like a victim, and Althea was not a victim. She told me multiple times, she's like, child, I don't feel uncomfortable around these people. She's like, I feel very comfortable. She said it in a couple of scenes, like she said all the time. She was fine. So I'm just saying that the narrative, I want the narrative to stick to what you don't like about Nova, not particularly her transness, but the things that actually come out of her mouth that you just don't like. And it doesn't have to be about propping up Althea as if she's a victim. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I think a good part of the cast is saying. If you don't like Nova, you're not supposed to like Nova. She did not come on this show to be likable. She said that.
Well, that's exactly why she shouldn't be breaking down and giving us her crocodile tears, copping motherfucking federal level pleas.
That's fair too.
If she came on to be a bad bitch and to wake it up, then wake it up and dry your faces, because you came to be on that type of time. So why are we crying? Why is there an after show and extra footage of you sitting down with Althea when you gave her all that work and all that smoke intentionally throughout the season? Like, I mean, just hold on to it then, because see, but Nova is dualistic. She's playing both ends of the situation.
Yeah. I mean,
and then even the cop in the plea over the Jamaican woman, she turned around and jumped on Harbiana's platform and went to war with YB Speaks. Shout out to YB Speaks. And then
I heard you told me about that.
And then and now I'm about to tell the public this. And then in that conversation, she called that same Jamaican woman that she put up on a pedestal as a defense for the colorism allegations, and called that black woman a bitch. Like, oh, I was been like this before that bitch. I've been had this before that bitch. So here it is that we keep having a word called pattern. There's a pattern that the viewers have every right to say, this bitch actually might be racist. She may actually be fucking colorist. And only Nova truly knows what's in her heart. But in terms of how she's behaving, other people have every right to take those comments and to interpret them and to not and to take it for what it is. To take her at face value. Only Nova is in control of the way she can be perceived, which is informed by her behavior. And if she's not doing a great job at maintaining continuity and saying the right things and making sure that her heart is always reflected in her actions, that's on her. That's not on the audience. The audience don't owe Nova shit. The audience don't owe her any grace. They don't.
But also, neither do we.
They don't owe her nothing.
We're just on a cast with her. That is it. So I don't understand why people, like I said before, Nova is a cast member just like the rest of us. She's here for whatever reason she was here. I was here for me. We was all here for ourselves. So while y'all sitting here talking about y'all need to get Nova, y'all already got her. Y'all are the accountability. Why y'all looking for accountability from us, from a scene? Because if you go back through the damn show, you'll see that there are multiple people who talk to her. The girl doesn't give a fuck. What y'all really wanted, what some people have actually told me and come to my DMs to tell me, is that they wanted me to fight her. Y'all wanted me to fight Nova. Y'all wanted us to punch Nova. Y'all wanted us to hurt her. Y'all wanted us to bring violence upon her. I've gotten DMs from people asking me to do that. Why didn't you punch Nova for Althea? Why would I do that? I'm not about to hit nobody because of her saying shit that's gonna fuck her up with the audience of people. Her karma had come. And if y'all just don't believe her, y'all just don't believe her.
I'm gonna be honest. To some degree, especially with the cast Tramel now knowing everything, because now they have seen everything. They've also watched a lot of interviews. They've seen the unedited footage. They've seen the posts. It's like, why doesn't the castmates understand, baby? Her making those light-skinned, I ain't black, underbelly, racist, anti-black ass statements are an insult to y'all too. Y'all all black. Y'all not Caucasians at that lemon squeeze. Y'all all melanated women and men at that table. Her comments reached, her statements reached, you know, that had stretch. It transcends Althea, but nobody gave a fuck during or after, really. Like, nobody is just like batting an eye, really.
Yeah, I gotta stay up out of them comments, boo. I didn't hear it.
Wow.
I didn't hear it, and by the time the shit
but that's
aired,
my point. It's like
oh,
even afterwards, it was never a conversation. Even on the reunion, it was never a conversation on part 3. It's just not been there's not been no type of
conversation. Dominique Morgan talked to her about that.
Dominique Morgan, but she was with y'all for almost a year, babe. She was
we didn't see that until it came out, and then we saw her at the reunion.
Y'all, and y'all done seen us. Y'all done seen us since it came out, babe.
Who seen her?
Y'all done seen it since it came out, baby. Y'all just filmed part 3 Saturday. Y'all just saw this, and y'all now know all the things. Y'all now know all the things, and they're still not as much as a blink of an eye. And I think the viewers feel like the cast is in the goddamn sunken place at this point. It's giving a Jordan Peele production over there.
Dream Hill production.
it's giving, girl, blink twice, bitch. Do I need to put a flash on you right now, Tramel?
You ain't got to put no flash on me. I heard what the girl said. And I said, oh, well, shit.
I think that the viewers.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I can't.
I'm going to tell you exactly what people wanted. People wanted to see some type of passionate education and accountability to Nova, whether that was sitting her out for a few episodes, whether that wasn't special, whether that was there was just no acknowledgement of, rather, we are creating a space for someone who doesn't see it for black people in a black ass space.
Noted.
Yeah, it just, you know, y'all don't need the Mortal Kombat tour ass, but it's just like they're just
that's what people really want.
No. I know that's what
I can really skate past that.
I know that's what. Yeah.
No accountability will be enough. You can tell her, girl, don't say that. Why did you say that? What's wrong with you?
And this is
Noelle said it to her and Noelle called it out at the part. I don't know if it was part 1 or part 2. He called her out for being a colorist, and guess what? It wasn't enough. It's never enough for anybody, because what they want us to fight. I'm not gonna fight that.
Okay, like we passed the fighting thing. Like the Boca people are not calling for violence against Nova.
Yeah, they are.
People did.
Secretly, they kind of are, and you know that I would really want people to be honest. Just be honest. Just be honest about it. I've gotten the DMs. It's been more than like 3 or 4.
So I've
gotten approached in public. Like, oh my God, you didn't take care of Althea. Like, why didn't y'all hit Nova? I'm like, ooh.
I'm not arguing that it didn't happen. I'm saying that, as we can see from the actual evidence, from the comments, that the majority of people are not calling for violence. I'm sure that there were people saying that extreme shit because it just happens when it comes to this type of It just happens when it comes to this type of thing. There are going to be people who are going to be doing the most and being fanatics and being extremists. That happens in every instance. But this pivots us to the responsibility that some of the viewers are also now placing on production and placing on the CEO to say, okay, it's one thing if the cast missed the mark, but on Dario or whomever, are we not going to address this? Is she not going to be penalized? Do we not understand the gravity of the implications behind her insults? Did nobody sit her aside and say, hey, you can't be saying this kind of shit? Because we have natural born women. And I don't, and shout out to Q. I mean, shout out to Dominique. He did tap on her wig outside on the back of the trunk of the car and told her, girl, you can't be doing this and doing that and blah, 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 blah. But I also said in my previous review that I feel like some of this tension now between the audience and chasing could have been wrinkled out had production been intentional about dealing with it and maybe making a special about it, bringing the cast together to talk about the intersectionality and the way that intersectionality intersects with gender, intersects with sex, intersects with queerness, like to talk about the things, maybe bring in an activist, bring in some experts, have like make it pivot it to make it meaningful and also hold Nova accountable. But because there's such a lack of accountability around, like a real, like a meaningful accountability around Nova, not
and
the
what
little.
would that look like? And what would that look like? Just sitting her in a room.
I just said it. It could look like her sitting her ass out for a few seasons, or all out being showed.
Few seasons. I mean, this is only one season. If we don't know who getting picked back up, so it might not be.
Okay. Being set out for the season, for the remainder of the season, or set out for a few episodes of the season is what I meant to say. And, or they could have held her accountable by doing that. And then also pivoting and once again, like center half of an episode or you know, a commercial break where we can have a 30-minute sit down in between episodes to talk about colorism, to talk about the dynamics of natural born woman and trans women. Like, since these issues were now becoming a part of the conversations for the viewers, and this was important and the viewers were establishing these things are important to us, I think that it was a missed opportunity on production's part to take advantage of all of that, because if they had of, it could have washed and bleached a lot of now the criticism and the disdain and the issues that they have around just the way all of this was dealt with, from the alleged anti-blackness to, you know, whether cis women are really respected on this cast, or the fact that we live in a culture where the dynamics between natural born women and trans women are very tense. Podcasts, everything going on. We have all of this stuff going on. So it's heavy. It's easy to gaslight these type of issues if somebody's going to go there. And Nova went there. And there was nothing really responsible done about it. Nothing really meaningful that translated to the viewers, and the viewers are saying it. It's not me. I'm just reiterating what the general audience is leaving under every goddamn. I can pull up every episode right now, and the proof of the pudding is right there. It's not something that I'm producing out of my goddamn imagination. The people have goddamn spoken. The people are spoken, and I think a brand does well to speak back to that and to say, okay, this is what's meaningful to my audience. Let's deal with this in a powerful way, in an impactful way. And that can benefit the brand, and it can benefit the castmates, and it can benefit the audience, and it can be 360, but that really wasn't dealt with. So now we're here, and people are disgruntled and upset and quitting and leaving, and everybody's fired, and there's all these goddamn moving parts. It's a mess. Moving along.
Oh my God. All I'm going to say is I do understand your sentiments, and the things that you're talking about, they do sound very powerful to sit somebody down and have an intervention with them about, you know, their behavior on a reality show. However, I don't think it would have helped in this situation. I will tell you God's honest truth in my heart. When I found out that Althea was going to be a part of this cast, and she was going to be filming the scene with me, I was excited, super excited, because she's my girl, whatever the case may be, right? I knew that in my heart of hearts, nobody should ever say anything to her on this show.
Like, what does that mean exactly?
Because it was never going to come out good for anybody to say anything to or about her on this show.
You think so?
I knew so. And I knew that, and I knew that deep down in my soul, because it's not going to be looked at as a cast member versus cast member. It's going to be whatever they want to call us versus another against her. And that was never going to be good. So I thought in my mind, to be honest, and this is my naive brain working, that everybody knew this. Everybody on the cast knew this. That's what I felt like. I never spoke it, obviously. But I just knew, I was like, oh, Alfie is not problematic anyway. So it's going to be very easy for her to just like maneuver through this situation without talking or getting into it with anybody. But as soon as it happened, I was like, ooh, goddamn. I see the transphobia coming. I see the homophobia coming. I see the we don't protect women enough. I already saw it. And I knew that this was going to happen. And you know what I did? I sat my little black ass down. And I was just like, you know what? This is not going to be good. And I already knew that. Not because of, you know, who Althea is, or even not knowing Nova at the time or what was going to happen, but I already knew that they was never going to accept Althea getting into it with anybody and her being the only cisgender woman on this cast. I knew that was never going to be good. So
I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think that the Chasing Reality audience is so goddamn weak that they would have just expected Althea to have qualified immunity just because she has a vagina between her legs. I think that if Nova would have had reasonable altercations with Althea, like it, first of all, like the conflict makes sense, and it's not just you antagonizing the fuck out of somebody.
Althea would have had to started with them, and it would have had to been really bad. So in my mind, like I said again, knowing Althea,
I wasn't quite finished with my sentence.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If she would have had a like sensible, like first of all, it needs to make sense, the altercations, and for two, if Nova would have dragged Althea in altercations that also made the altercations make sense to have, and she would have dragged her in the ways that women drag each other. Oh, bitch, please, you a hoe, girl, your ass is flat. Oh, girl, please, like you're broke, you're stank, bitch, go change. What, you know, like if like no, I don't think the audience would have been sitting here centering it around, oh, this is a cis woman being attacked. I think the audience is intelligent enough to know that conflict arises no matter what the fuck, whose sexuality is what, who gender is what. And if the altercation would have made sense, I don't think nobody would have really mind Nova defending herself and reading Althea down. But that wasn't really the case here. We had somebody who was really targeting someone, and to your point, intentionally, because you even agree that she started conflict, in your opinion, with Althea, that Althea is the victim in that sense, that she's the respondent in this case, not the antagonizer or the aggressor. And then it was just all of the like to hell shit that took place. But I'm gonna show you how fair I am, Tramel. Let's swing the pendulum around. Let's talk on the wig that Althea don't got on her goddamn head.
Not
because
on
I
her
told
wig.
y'all, baby, I swing both ways, bitch. This mind is bisexual, girl. These hands work both ways. Let's talk on Althea's wig. Now, to Tony's point, right? Because Tony was completely, shout out to my Scorpion sister. I'm a Scorpio. I have a bias toward our Scorpios, but I'm going to talk on her wig a little bit too. But I'm with Tony too, in terms of what she's trying to get Althea to understand is that you're saying you support the community, you respect all trans women. That was even reflected in your email. Cool. Your job then is to make sure that you never come off as a goddamn transphobe. So why is it that in a heated argument with a trans woman, your go-to is to misgender her? And the problem with Althea is that Althea not only misgendered Nova, she ended up turning around 2 days before the reunion and misgendered Tony right to her face on TTV's platform. So then
2 days ago after the reunion.
No, before part 3. This is before part 3 aired, because
no,
Tony
this was after part 3. We had already.
Tramel, I'm about to tell you what I know because I just had to endure all of this. It was before the reunion. That's why Tony was saying to Althea, "Oh, y'all gonna see in part 3. Y'all gonna see." Y'all.
I said, "Oh, you talking about before it aired?"
Yeah. Why are you even correcting me about something that's it's not even what you even trying to fixate on? It's not even a thing to. Are you okay? Like, are you?
Listen,
okay?
Let me tell you something.
Are you okay?
Nova Althea situation has got my head spinning. Like it's been having my head spinning for months, on top of a year. Okay. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Well, you here to get into this stuff, okay? Look. Y'all
not
just
this particularly.
Y'all just sit around from 4:30 to 9 and 10 p.m. on a Saturday rehashing all this shit. Y'all the ones signed up to do this stuff, okay? And we just plugged in with y'all signing up too. But let me talk on Althea's wig as well. Althea, if you're not transphobic, don't say or act transphobic. That's it. That's all. You can wear Nova the fuck out, bitch. If you want to drag that hoe for being built like a 16-year-old, you can. If you want to drag her for her Party City wig, for being funeral home ready in the Maybelline girl, if you want to drag her for a lack of roofing, if you want to drag her for a lack of finances, if you want to drag her for the fact that she wasn't able to pay her trade onto a Spirit airline flight and get his ass to come and give her some dick for 2 nights and 3 days, you can drag all of the things, girl. She's not off the roster. Tony's whole point is, why are you misgendering her? There's a lot of things you can say, and you are allowed to defend yourself. Why are you misgendering her? And you're on a queer platform amongst queer people, and you are here as a sister to the community. And Tony was trying to let her know that there's no way for you to slice Nova without you slicing me.
Fair.
Because if you think that she's a boy in the wig, you damn sure think that I'm just a nigga in the wig. And you think that every other trans woman is a woman, is a nigga in the wig. I understand that. Tony is absolutely on fucking point. And what I also want straight people to understand is that the heterosexual community, y'all are peering into a gay space. This is not a heterosexual space. So Tony has every right to desire to feel protected from outside forces in a queer space. She has every right to feel entitled to that. That is her entitlement. She's not out there on Love and Hip Hop in a predominantly straight space asking to be protected. She's a trans woman in a trans and same gender loving queer space asking to be protected and asking there to be some boundaries and some adjustments when it comes to etiquette and social engagement. And she's not being unreasonable in asking for that in her space with someone who's coming from the outside in. So all I want Althea to do, because I think Althea's issue, I can see that she woman-splains a lot instead of just owning it. If you are the kind of person who says, if a bitch go low, I'm going to hell. Okay, cool. Own that. Just simply own it. Hey, no, I'm not transphobic. Hey, I ain't got no smoke for no other trans woman. But if any one of you bitches, with or without a pussy, come from me, girl, and you go low, I'm going to hell on period. And I ain't making no exception, regardless of a gender identity. If that's your swag, you own that shit. Put that cape on your motherfucking chest and you hold it. Or you allow yourself to be corrected. You recognize the error in your ways, and then you burden yourself with maintaining your correction going forward. You don't backtrack. You don't pussy pop. You don't do any of that. But what Althea did was she woman-splained a lot. It was, yeah, I said it, but I said it because she. It's like, okay. That's, once again, that's cool. If that's your psychology and your philosophy is, when that bitch do that, I'm gonna do this. Once again, I think some people asking, all Tony asking is, then be clear, baby, and hold that space. If you're gonna apologize and you educated now and you get it, it's cleared, it's good. We shouldn't see this behavior from you no more. But then she turned around and also misgendered Tony to her face after misgendering Nova to her face. So once again, this pendulum swings back and forth. But let's also tug on Tony's wig, because Tony sat up on part 2 and part 1 of the reunion and pretty much had no problem with the misgendering, because as far as she was concerned, both girls were battling. What were we supposed to do? Those were her words. Both girls were battling. If both girls are battling, I'm like, hey, let them battle. Let them whatever. So Tony got to maintain continuity as well, because all this hooting and hollering over Althea misgendering Nova, but then Noelle wore the ovaries out of Nova's body and called her everything but a child of God, called her a cross-dresser, called her a little boy in a big wig, dragged her through and through. And we didn't see Tony slam down Thor's hammer in righteous judgment upon Noelle. There was no pushback. There was no kickback. There was no anything. And so these are the type of things that the viewers are feeling like, girl, this is selective outrage. This is selective outrage. That it seems that there's no continuity to, you know, who's held accountable, and it feels like there's favoritism, and it feels like and so because of the way shit is being edited and the way shit is being dealt with, and I know that Tony would probably say, hey, the girls need to watch they need to watch everything, but that's not realistic. You have 50,000 people who watched an episode, but you only got 1,500 people who done watched a panel show. So the bulk of the audience doesn't get to see the shit that happens everywhere else. They're honing in to see the actual episode. They're not responsible for seeing all the sideline reviews and the sideline live streams and all of that. They're going to see exactly what is produced and packaged for their consuming pleasure. So it just seems like there's a dichotomy here. Why not hold Noelle to the same accountability? And even if Noelle was willing to say, hey girl, you know, because to be honest, Noelle kind of mansplained his clap back too. It really wasn't like a girl, I'm sorry. It's basically like, girl, this is why I ran that work on you, and I hope we can really get past it. But why not also have a congressional hearing about that? Why not step out of your court set and say, Noelle, if you ever disrespect me ever again like that, by disrespecting another trans woman, I'll make sure that you never see me again either. I'm not going to tolerate that from my LGBT brothers. It's already one thing that we have outsiders who are willing to be transphobic and homophobic, and now we got this shit going on in-house. I'm not tolerating that from not near motherfucker. Not near one of y'all I'm going to do it. But we didn't see no congressional hearing against Noelle. We've just seen a doubling downing on Althea, but I also agree that Althea has no business being able to be in conflict with a trans woman and using transphobia as a clapback if you're not transphobic. Just like if you're a racist, I don't give a damn how much a black person drag your ass, you're never going to think to use the N-word as a slur or as a defense. If you're not xenophobic, you're never going to be in conflict with a foreigner and then use xenophobia as a clapback. If you're not homophobic, you're never going to use the F word, even if a homosexual is reading you down. If you're not these things, these are not even things that come to your mind to register. So, Althea, you've now doubled down on calling both trans women of the cast a he and a him and a boy. You do have to deal with that. However the trans women feel about that, hey, sis. Hey. I mean, I don't have no way to defend that and make that make sense. You gotta deal with whatever that now looks like for you. And Nova deserved all the work she got from the viewers because of her behavior and her attitude. And I think we all should agree that when it comes to chin checking shit, chin check across the board. Chin check the gays, chin check the trans, chin check the cis, the natural borns, chin check everybody. Gay men should not be allowed to perpetuate any more transphobia than a natural born woman. A natural born heterosexual woman should be able to. A light-skinned bitch should not be able to perpetuate colorism and racism and anti-blackness any more than a white person should be able to. Like just keep the shit even.
Undisclosed.
Across the board. What's undisclosed? What?
Undisclosed.
Oh, that's the back signal. Moving along, child.
No, because we can't move
What?
on. So
Okay, so what happened? What happened?
let me say what I need to say.
Say it.
And I let you,
Yes.
To wrap this on up for
Yes.
me. I have had many conversations with Tony, okay? And I think people are missing why Tony is upset, okay? So yes, Althea did misgender Nova that Tony saw, right? She did. She saw it. She screenshotted it. She talked about it in an episode with Q. Althea did quickly change it, and she did apologize to Tony directly about that. She apologized to Tony. She never apologized to Nova about that, to my knowledge, right? She was in the moment. It just happened. She called her a he, him, it. And you know that was something that went past. Now there were times where Althea was saying, "I never said this. I never said that. I would never do that. I'm not that type of person." Right? So, but it did happen. Okay. Do I think Althea is transphobic? No, but did she say some transphobic things?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think she's learning, right? Now, what Tony's upset about is I saw this. She's just pretty much saying, girl, I saw that you did this, right? I asked the questions that I needed to ask. Did Nova say something to her first to bring this out or whatever the case may be? And then she said that to her in rebuttal. Okay, the girls are windmilling, right? So Tony was like, okay, well, I'm not in that. And she apologized for the comment, and she tried to take it back. So that was Tony giving Althea like, okay, girl, you just in the moment, you're fresh, cool. That's the same grace that she extended to Noel. They were battling. Nova said something to him. He said a lot of things back to her, wore her out. He apologized on his page, on his platform, like a day or two after that, because he just doesn't want to be viewed that way. He said transphobic things. Yes. Tony, there for the call of it all, there for the action of it all. She said, okay, like I gave Althea grace, I'm gonna give you grace. Q did the same thing. He was transphobic towards Nova as well when she said things about him that was inappropriate as fuck. When they were battling, she also gave him grace because he has since apologized. As you can see, he rubbing her back and all this other stuff and whatever, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Where Tony gets into with Althea is we all were at the first reunion where we all had on the red, and Althea and Nova made up. They were cool. Now, whatever happened on them lives happened on them lives. But for Tony specifically, she had already been dealing with a lot of people in the comments. She shouldn't have been reading the comments. I wish she wasn't. But they were also coming to her DMs directly, telling her that she was ineffective as a person of trans experience because she wasn't handling Nova. She wasn't handling Nova. She wasn't handling Nova. She wasn't protecting Althea. So she was getting all of these call to actions from all of these fans and people directly adding her to situations where she really was just like, I'm letting them do they thing over there. I'm not saying nothing to Nova, just like I'm not saying nothing to Althea. Althea is doing fine. Nova's being a mess over there making TV. That's what she wants to do. And Althea is doing her thing over there. So when we get to the place where she's like, okay, at this reunion, this has got to be some resolution. She says she talked to both of them about y'all got to fix this because we can't have another season of this. People are really upset with what's going on. So y'all need to come to some kind of conclusion or, just fix it somehow. They do, as you saw in part 3, where the lives come in and where I guess Althea was doubling down on just saying like, yeah, I called her a man because she made me mad. That was something that Tony was just like, oh girl, so you really meant it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I want to address you about that because girl, you apologized to me. You gave me comfort knowing that this was just a one-off situation and you really aren't like that in this space with these people because that could be me. I am just one step away from being called a man. As you can see, if you make somebody mad, they start misgendering you. So that was what Tony was battling with at the reunion. Was she particularly mad at Althea? No, she just wanted Althea to understand, like, hey, girl, absolutely. We're trying to make a camaraderie here, and I don't want to think of you in this way. I don't want to see you in this way. And Althea just was kind of like, girl, well, these things happen to me. So she was giving what she needed to give for herself and for her comfortability. So they just clashed. And I think that people aren't really giving Tony like the understanding of, girl, I'm dealing with this too. I have if, can I say the F word on here?
No, you cannot.
Okay. So if somebody calls, if a straight person calls me a F word in front of you because they mad at me, it's just a couple of seconds away from when they'll call you one, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So we just, I
That's
think
why
she was
I
just kind of
agree.
on
Like,
that
we're standing
wavelength.
on business, I agree. Like, we're advocating for herself and advocating for Althea needing to check her behavior, because that's just not going to land, and it shouldn't land right. Just like Nova's comments about being light skinned and cis women and all, it shouldn't be tolerated. Like, what we're saying is that none of it should be tolerated,
Yeah,
but
no, it should be tolerated.
it feels disproportionate to a lot of people. But I agree with all of that. Like, I don't have a problem with Tony standing on it. Like, she should stand on it. She's a queer woman in a queer space where she should be afforded protection, especially from somebody from the outside coming in, for sure. And Althea doesn't have the rank in order to use that type of language in combat. And if there's a trans woman saying, you can't say that around me, then you can't say that around her. And you can't do that in this space. Just like if we tell an outsider to our culture, you can't use the N-word. I don't give a fuck if it's a term of endearment. I don't give a fuck if it's a compliment. I don't give a fuck if it's an insult. Other Black people can determine if you can do that around them. But these niggas here are saying that you can't. Because we all get to be gatekeepers when it comes to our culture. We all get to set the standard and set the bar when it comes to our shit. All communities, Black woman community, Black people community, LGBT community, everyone gets to have a standard for their culture. I'm with all that. I respect all the things. But there's also an inconsistency in just the way all of those things are being dealt with and handled. There's other things that are equally a big deal to a trans woman being misgendered that are not being checked at the same rate that the misgendering is taking place. Going back to my earlier statement, y'all all are Black. Nova should have damn near been ran out of the lemon squeeze. She should have been damn near, she should have been ran out of the town, because that was a point of commonality for all y'all at the table. Like, hold up, bitch. What you trying to say, girl? Because ain't none of us here light skinned but you. So what you trying to say about her? Because whatever you trying to imply by your pedestalization of your light skin in this girl, now is a group, girl, you done brought us all into the group chat. What are you trying to say? Like, what are you doing? Because we didn't even think you was gonna have the time. So what is it like? The people just want to see all the serious shit that showed up this season be dealt with, but but not everybody feels like certain things are serious. So it is what it is. But the disconnect is causing a big
I think what the problem is that people misunderstand what we were really here for. And I do know that, drama was there, but some of us was trying to get our scenes in with whatever we had going on, whether it be music, whether it be, talking about your surrogacy, or, just even talking about your fashion, your birthday, whatever the case may be. Everybody was focused on their own story. So in these one-off situations where you're arguing with somebody else that has nothing to do with Nova or Althea, you're not really thinking like, damn, why she say that to Althea? You're thinking like, well, damn, why this bitch say that to me? Why he talking about his birthday to me? Or why he coming at me sideways because I didn't invite him to my birthday? I don't think it's just like y'all are watching it, yes, and we are not. When we are in that space, we're in that space. But when we're not, fully like watching it and just seeing it, because we're watching it just like y'all. So when we got to the reunion, Dominique Morgan actually took the reins on handling with Nova what we all had talked to her about and trying to get her to understand. So with the apologies that she gave, we were happy that she even gave them because she was sitting around saying that she was never going to apologize. So we were actually happy.
Because she didn't mean the one she ended up giving. That's why she was saying that.
Well,
so,
we know. Well, y'all just say that because y'all just don't want to believe her,
no,
which is
she the one
fine.
who
I respect
no,
that too. But
no,
like the apologies
no,
were
she
given,
the one
whether
who
you want
turned
to
around
believe them or not, they were there.
She is the one who turned around and called her Trinidadian Jamaican adopted mother a
You
bitch.
right, Scotty. I am so ready to go spend 2 hours talking about Nova. That is not
us.
what this
And
is.
see, and this is why we opened up with, because me and Tramel knew that the Nova.
No, we didn't know. You knew.
And no, we knew. That's why
you did. I told you to do
we
your
said,
whole.
we're going to come in swinging
I told you.
we know that it's going to be fucking up. So
I ain't got no time for no Nova and no Althea beef.
Before we move into you and Q, do you want to see Nova and Althea return or not return? What do you think is best for?
Well, Althea has already said that she's not coming back. So whoever is supporting her,
if she chooses to change her mind again, how would you feel about that?
If she chooses to change her mind again, I would love to have Althea back. I would love that.
And Nova?
Actually, honestly, truthfully, I would want both of them together or neither one of them at all.
Okay. And Tony at this point is not returning either. She's
I'm not sure if she is. What I would say is
she walked off, and we know that. And Dario said, she done quit. She said she can't do this no more. She's just not with the foolishness and the fuckery and not feeling safe in her own space.
Yeah, I mean, if she decides now, I would love for Tony to come back, but I would understand if she didn't, because this became a very, very, very unhealthy mental space for it actually became a very unhealthy mental space for all the women, because they battled the most with the comments and the people in the comments. Not necessarily Nova, because she was built for just like anarchy and casualties and stuff like that. But I feel like Althea and Tony really took a hit. More so Tony than anything, because, I never really... Tony is a Scorpio, and, she's very sensitive. My girl is sensitive.
And we Scorpios mean what the fuck we say, and we ain't with no fucking...
She does. And she was really hoping for...
and when we feel disrespected, it's up for real. And we gonna stand in that shit. We gonna stand in that disrespect shit. Yeah.
Well, I feel like Tony really, really wanted a resolution to happen between her two other female, lady counterparts with female. I don't want to go.
You know what's crazy about that is that Althea and Nova done made up, and Tony is now out, despite the fact that Nova and Althea done made up.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. It's just sad.
Yeah. Well, maybe people just need a chill pill, and they can, I think that people should take breaks if they feel like their mental health is getting too much, etc. Maybe things can be worked out over time. So if she don't come back next season, maybe season 9 she'll be in a better space. Maybe Althea will be in a better space. It would be nice to see the cast lean into this and not run away from it. And
I would love to see a season
and really deal with it, because there's a power in this, and this can be very rewarding if dealt with properly. So I'm really rooting for you guys to really continue on and maintain the continuity.
Yeah.
I also want to
shout out. I would love to see a season where Althea and Nova are friends. I would love to see that.
Sure. Yeah, because you know what, at the end of season reunion part 2, they were checking each other titties for cancer lumps and shit. So it was real good. I was like, yes, girl, get up in all that femininity shit. Shout out to my baby mother, Katie, who says, thank you for your wise commentary. #chasing. Thank you, Katie. You guys, I do not have my super chat activated because I'm not letting YouTube take 30% of nothing that you guys are sending me straight from y'all pocket. So the Cash App and the PayPal is available. And I thank you guys in advance so much for your viewership and your support of this interview. Moving into more explosive shit, you and this goddamn Q. My God, today, God be with me. You and Q. The teacher came to a boil as a result of you both trying to mediate Nova and Althea's goddamn situation. Malcolm X was not motherfucking having it with your ass at the stripper pole situation. And then we saw things come to a fucking boil, and you brought the motherfucking receipts as you fucking should, baby. Let's get into what you revealed. You revealed that in the aftermath of you and Q's conflict, that some of his friends, associates, people that claim to love him and like him began to threaten you. There was even a stalking of you, that you had cis women who were threatening to put hands and feet and paws on you on behalf of Q, and that Q was participating in this foolishness by reposting certain things and didn't seem to make a stride to blow the smoke out of some of this foolishness and criminality that was playing out loud, live, and in color. One of those screenshots was, well, before we get there, actually, you guys, Tramel want to make sure that all y'all people who call yourselves fan of folk, that you make sure, bitch, that you are fanning at the levels that are meaningful, baby. I better see these follow counts go up on all platforms for my season 7 castmates. Running that mouth in the comments with no real support is not respected.
So I've been seeing a lot of comments, and I've been seeing a lot of I love this person, I love this person, and I better see. I'm gonna check all of their follow counts today, and I better see everybody getting followed more. I want to see more likes and hits to videos and music. Okay. Jesus. Get out the comments and get to liking, because the show is over. Now what you gonna do?
All right, back to Q, girl. So what is the context of the screenshot here? This is from Quentin Lamar. Q, baby at Quentin is extremely loved over here. We don't play about this one, so please stop reposting my friend for clout. I am Tramel. Pour that energy into that craft, boo. And what they were talking about was a trailer or maybe an excerpt from the episode you posted, and his spoke came to telling you to stay in your place. Yeah.
That was like there was 2 of them that did it, and they said the exact same thing, and I was just like, hold on. Why did I had like 2 of them back to back? I'm like, oh, he sent them after me. Like what? And he gave them a script. Because he reposted both of them.
Because you also received a threat from a burner account who hit you up, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So I was out with an undisclosed person.
Hey, Andario. Hi. Speak to your boss, Tramel.
Hey, Andario.
Shout out to you, boo.
So I was with an undisclosed person.
Yes.
That's how I was with my man. Okay. I was outside with my fucking man.
Oh, you're talking about this image here that was taken of you.
Tramel talking mess a little bit, not really. He talking mess, not me.
Yeah, I'm talking more shit than anything else.
Yeah, you ain't have to zoom in now because my booty flattened this.
Hey, that's all right. You got a man who love all of that. So somebody at the train station took this picture of you and then did what? Sent it to you, sent it to Q, did what?
No, I don't know what they did. All I know is that when I got home, after catching the train back home, because I had to leave my car, the Genesis, at home. And not the chasing panel said, come home. Oh, Lord.
Okay. Hold on. And I'm about to block every stupid bitch in my chat doing that because you got me fucked up. Coming over here trying to be a fake ass, weird ass, sugarless ass, diabetic ass detractor. So let me go ahead and block your whole ass up.
Don't be blocking them.
Goodbye, honey. Off the Block Nation, you go, girl. Because I don't
do not be blocking them.
I don't know who the fuck you think you feeling like, bitch. I don't know who the fuck you think you're feeling like. Goodbye. Who else up in here talking about come to a motherfucking panel when you see where he wants to be is where he is? Who else in this motherfucker?
Oh my
trying to redirect traffic. Hold on. Keisha, you got to get your bald head ass up out of here too, girl.
Do not do my girls.
Goodbye, bitch.
Do not do my girls.
Who else up in this motherfucker redirecting traffic? Who need that? Who else need that?
Don't do my girls.
Who else need that? Who else need that?
Conscious, don't do my girls.
Who else need that? Who else need that work? Who else need all of that? Bitch, I'm over here working for the gods, honey. got questions and commentary and perspective and criticisms and advice and feedback, collecting all the motherfucking receipts, and y'all think y'all gonna bring y'all raggedy funk ass over here, bitch, and detract from my shit? And then you gonna sit here and advocate for them more than you advocating for your bitch who over here working right now? See, this is the kind of shit they was talking about that happened on that cast. Y'all don't really know who the hell y'all need to be defending. Y'all see how I'm over here being forsaken, and he over here on my platform in front of my motherfucking people talking his motherfucking shit, and he down there worried about a raggedy bitch trying to take attention off of me rather than checking them hoes on behalf of trying to take attention from me.
Oh, Lord.
Y'all see how that type of foolishness motherfucking work? That's why I couldn't be a part of no damn ensemble cast, baby. I couldn't do it, girl. I ain't got the time, baby. I ain't built like that. Anyway, moving on. So this picture got posted of you minding you and your man's business.
No, it didn't get posted.
What had happened?
So it was sent to me when I got home from riding the train. It was like 10:30 when I got home, and the picture says, well, the message, the text message that I got from it was, "Watch your back, pussy. I got eyes all over the city."
Did you report that to the Atlanta authorities, or you just paid it?
I honestly was actually shocked. I wasn't even really thinking. I was so fucking exhausted, but I paid it. I really did pay it. I just deleted. It was a text message, and so as I deleted it, I got to thinking. I was like, oh my God, somebody really took a picture of me. Oh my God, how did they get my phone number? Oh my God, who would do this?
That's
and I'll just say allegedly. I mean, of course, allegedly, because I don't really know where it came from. It came from a 205 burner number, and I was just kind of like, And
it just felt like it was a part of the things that were already happening. In terms of people.
Yeah, so the day prior, those other messages happened, like the one that you just showed before, that one happened the day before with Q. So I was just like, allegedly, I say allegedly all day long, like allegedly that's where I thought it came from. I was just like, because he did have access to my phone number, so it's kind of like, but I don't know, and I will say that when I confronted him about it, it was kind of like me more so like, did you do this? Like, is this a thing? And he was just like, well, I don't know if people fuck with me in the city. So it's kind of like, you're not making it any better. I would have really liked for him to have cleared it up. Like, no, that's not me. But the other shit, yeah, that was me, boy. You know, those were just my friends. But that other shit I would never do. But he didn't really give me that at all.
I want to know if them bitches who you was defending in my chat, if they ever put a 60 or 80-inch smart TV across your wall. I'm just really trying to figure out who them hoes think that they
Undisclosed.
I'm trying to figure out who them bitches think that they was.
Undisclosed.
In the queendom.
Undisclosed.
And who you feeling like that you advocating for them hoes. So this is the post that you made, and then he commented and said, stop posting me. You know damn well what I was trying to say. I was telling Nova to stop, pandering for attention because you can't sing. It's crazy. Stop posting me. You commented and called him a hypocrite. People got in the comment section. He responded to someone in the comment section saying, I hope so, because the gaslighting is out of control at this point. And other people joined in, etc. You clearly showed up to the reunion part 3 to give him every bit of a piece of your mind. Were you satisfied about your engagement with him? Did you feel like you proved your point, you said what you needed to say, or did it feel like a lot was still left undone? Because he wasn't really taking no accountability at all. He was justifying on one hand, well, I got people who really fuck with me the long way, but then was at times seeming like he was on an apology tour. I couldn't understand where he was trying to land it. How did you feel? What did you take from his response to you calling him out for not checking his chia pets?
To be honest, what I got from it was that he didn't want to take accountability for what he actually probably did. I feel like he just was telling his friends all these bad things about me, and they decided to weaponize themselves against me or whatever the case may be. And now, as far as the train track picture and whatever not, I will say that I don't know where that came from. I will say that I don't know where that came from, but it's just very coincidental that, you know, I don't have problems with people in the world, and especially people that have my damn phone number. You know what I'm saying? So it's very ill time for me. I actually got another post like 2 days ago, somebody threatening me or whatever. And I'm just like, this is just a lot. But I will say, in that moment, what he gave me was that he really didn't care I was disposable. And, you know, my conversation and whatever friendship that I tried to have with him prior was disposable. And he was really more so focused on Dominique. That's who he was trying to, you know, I feel like he just really wanted to be Dominique's friend, and that's it. I think he was really upset about that friendship, and that was just something very triggering for him. Although Dominique was saying very, very mean things that he really didn't need to say, or laughing pretty much. And I feel like that kind of hurt him. And he was just more so like, I'm sad about this friendship that I'm losing. I really don't give a fuck about Tramel and what he got going on, and, you know, blah.
Have you heard from Q since he stormed off of the part 3 set?
No.
Is it possible for you and him to squash this or have a conversation or a meeting of the minds?
No. That was his opportunity. When we were talking in that moment, I really wanted him to be real and honest. Like, what is this? Like, why are you doing this to me particularly? And so the fact that he was really more so focused on his interaction with Dominique, that was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me. It's just like, yeah, if for whatever reason I will never feel small. But I think he tried to small me in that moment. Like, yeah, your issue, I don't care, because I never really wanted to be your friend anyway. It was just really like, I just was just stuck with you. So you know what? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I ain't never been begging for a friend, and I don't care about having a little enemy. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Never every November.
You know, I just want to say that, because, you know, he did the same thing that Nova did at the reunion. Like, Nova was copping pleas. I got a Jamaican adopted mama. Of course, I don't dislike Black women. But then Q also was copping pleas. Y'all just got to understand this, and y'all just got to understand that. And Tramel, you got to understand that I had to whip my nigga's ass, or he whipped my ass early in the day, and you got to understand this. And it's just like, girl, I understood why you said, girl, I ain't here for none of that, bitch. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Ain't none of that got to do with the price of tea and motherfucking China hole. Like, you trying to make 1 + 1 trigonometry, and it ain't that motherfucking deep. You out of order. Your bitches is out of order, and put them hoes in check. And I want to say to that is that Q is a grade A psychopath, in my opinion, of very low emotional intelligence. And I can see why he ended up in jail, and will more than likely end up back in jail again if he doesn't get into some major therapy and grow the fuck up. Threatening someone that I personally care about and love, that'll get gasoline put down that bitch's motherfucking throat.
Do not.
And them hoes can give me all that smoke that they want from you. Because I'm with every,
you know,
I'm with every variation of a motherfucking orange jumpsuit, bitch, and got the bail money. Because, see, I think that a lot of hoes pressing on you because they think that you stand alone. And I think because you're so meek and you're so practical and you're so boy next door, the hoes play on your head top. But you got hoes who got criminal records around you. You got hoes who can do. You got hoes who can do 60 days, who can do 60 days in the county jail and be just fine.
That's why I stay quiet, because I don't want that. I don't want nobody. So that's the thing of,
because ain't nothing happened between you and this nigga that warranted none of the smoke that you got from him. None of it. None of it. And him justifying it because he was in his feelings because he missed his mammy's birthday to sit down and film a scene for fucking free is his problem. You didn't owe him shit because he chose to miss his mammy's B-Day. Because he forfeited blowing her candles out of her birthday cake in order to jump ship for clout. And to threaten to whip your ass after giving a Q Luther King speech to Nova and Althea. Girl, you done lost your motherfucking mind. Because if being with your mammy meant that much, that's where the fuck you should have been. You had already missed a third of the season anyway, being down there in Rikers Island. So nobody would have missed you.
Oh, Lord.
This is the kind of shit that should get people banned. So what was the CEO's response to, because Q got caught up in a lot of sick shit. Not only have you been getting threatened, not only has he threatened violence against you and participated in other people being violent towards you, but there's also an alleged murder plot against Nova.
Yeah, that shocked me too.
Did Andario ban Q from filming? Like, girl, you definitely not well for this, and we can't have you back. You are definitely too much of a liability. You do not have control of yourself, and you are now posing as a endangerment to the rest of my cast. We're gonna have to let you go kindly and professionally.
Well, and Dario has, I mean, they have their own production meetings or what. I'm not a part of those. I have no idea what that type of meeting, but I do know that Dario has checked on me, and he's always been very, very kind to me about, you know, it's my situation, because I was able to talk to him about it before, well, after or whatever. And he was just like, he's like, yeah, you know, we don't want that. We want you guys to remain safe. And that was pretty much like the gist of it all for it. And so,
were you satisfied like with that? Do you want to see him not in that space as long as you're in that space because of this going to this level?
It was definitely a thought process in my mind. If I were to return, I would definitely have to have some deep thoughts about that. If he were to return or whatever, if I were to have to be there. I mean, I'm not scared of anybody, and I'm not afraid of, you know, that whole situation, because, you know, I know how to call the cops. But I do appreciate the production for just, you know, checking on me, and I know that they do care. And then at the end of the day, this is an issue that they can't control, and it would be something that I'm more than well and empowered to deal with.
But they also have the power to keep him from
filming,
abusing a privilege and a gift he's being given on by being allowed to be a part of Chasen's brand. They can definitely stop that for sure.
Yeah, they can. So that is something that they are fully empowered to do, and I feel like that could be something in consideration. Now, I do, you know, and me, I just can only speak for me and what I see. I just like, if I were a producer and putting myself in Dario's mind, or in, you know, production's mind, I'll just say production. You know, the way he acted in Miami, that was pretty much like, bitch, you are uncontrollable, and unless you show me different, I don't know if we can move forward. So I would have been done with him in Miami, but that's just me, because that was a mess.
I just want to tell Andario, as sweet as he appears to be, girl, it's okay to kick these hoes off your show, bitch, because some of these hoes is trying to get the brand locked up and trying to get them with a damn indictment on this motherfucker, baby. Don't let them hoes ruin your shit, Andario. Don't let these motherfucking hoes ruin your shit, girl. I know you trying to keep it sweet and you like everybody, but girl, when it comes to liability, don't let nobody take your brand.
We all signed a contract. We all signed some waivers. So, you know. But when we are in real life, when we are not on this show, that is really out of their control. So this was my off time. This is not filming. This is just regular day.
That's why we're speaking about what things should look like for you coming back, considering what's happening around you, what's happening around him and Nova, because this is extreme. This is completely outlandish, unacceptable behavior. It's on and off camera. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, but he's putting it off on his family and friends. So I'm like, girl, you don't know how to talk to them.
And that's fine, because that would be on his eviction notice. Bitch, you're gone because of your friends and your family. Goodbye.
Not goodbye.
I think that if harassment continues to persist, you should get into your Karen bag. Don't play with your life.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
play with
absolutely.
your safety. And let them hoes like pull a T.S. Madison on their motherfucking ass. Start locking hoes up, bitch.
Absolutely.
You want to play the gangster keyboard game, bitch? We're going to see how that lands in front of a judge. Okay?
Absolutely.
Get into your Karen bag, bitch, and take them hoes where they don't want to go. Okay, so that's unreconcilable. Done, cooked, never again. Good on that.
Done.
Totally good on that. Done. Were you happy that Dario edited out Q trying to drag your beautiful abs?
I want him to leave that in there.
Leave that in there. Where that
I understand with
where that B-roll
Andario,
went.
he probably was trying to get to the meeting, but he definitely used it as a teaser. But I think what was so funny is that I knew that there was 2 hours of footage that he had to go through to try to pick out the parts. Because we were filming for a while. It was only supposed to be an hour, but it turned into like 2.5. So I definitely know that he had to do some major surgery on that thing. So I appreciate it. Now I appreciate all of the editing. For me, there were of course things you're not completely like 100% okay with, but
absolutely,
you know, it's a production and it's not about you. And we're on an ensemble cast, so you know what's good for the brand is good for the brand. So if my abs weren't good for the brand, I'm fine with it because I can show them another day. My dad bod that they say that I have, you know.
Oh my God. Well, it's a dad bod. It's a dad bod that your man loves. Wow. Somebody is going through a whole divorce, apparently. So moving along. Can we get into real quick you and Ken? I cannot believe that Ken did all that pussy popping about you and Carl not being invited, but only it to turn out that you, in fact, did receive a birthday invite. But where did you get the understanding that you weren't invited if you had already been invited?
So, okay, let's break that down.
Yeah.
Let's break that down real quick. So this actually happened right after the game night when I was just like, oh, am I still invited to your birthday? Because he was talking about my birthday on Thursday. It was like the week after, a couple of weeks after, or whatever. And I was like, ooh, after last night, am I still invited, Ken? Like, am I still invited to the party? And he was like, yes, you are, or whatever. Then we laughed about it or whatever. That was in the group chat, that infamous group chat. So when I found out, but he also actually said after this that he was going out of town, right?
Yes.
So then when it actually circles around to his actual birthday, it really was, like he said, last minute, and he came together with a party, or you know, they went to V12.
Sure.
And he, in the group chat, he Nova was like, oh babe, where do you send me the information for your party and all this other stuff? I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm just not invited, and it's fine. He didn't. Nobody said nothing to me. He didn't say nothing to me. He didn't round up the people that he wanted to. You know, he rounded up the people that he wanted to come. So I was not mad. I was not mad because we went. Me and Carl actually went out that same night. It was July 3rd. That's when his birthday is. We went to a kickback that I got an invite. I got an invite to. So we were drinking. And then we invited Jamar, but Jamar was filming, you know, he was filming the party. And so we ran into Sammy and Jamar, and we were drunk, and we was like, oh, bitch, you was at a birthday party. I was at Ken's birthday party. And now Sammy was not lying when we said, oh, girl, we're going to have to talk to Ken about this. We're going to have to talk about this. It's like... But when I saw Ken that night, I saw him like maybe 15 minutes after that, because he had came to Bulldogs where we were. You know, I love a good bulldog. And it was packed up in there. So I just gave him a hug and wished him a happy birthday. And so I really was never going to bring that up to him, like, child. But he kept saying, I never invited Tramel to my birthday party. I'm like, baby, yes, you did. I'm not going to. Stop it. Stop saying that, because you did. You just don't remember. And it's okay that you don't remember, because I was never mad about your birthday party not getting an invite, or an actual invite anyway. But I did get one, but it wasn't the actual one. You know what I'm saying? I made it known that I wanted to come to his birthday party to celebrate. him, but I wished him a happy birthday, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. So whenever happened after that, it was kind of like, it was confusing to me, but it was a miscommunication at the end of the day. So,
Did you ever identify the friend that he said you was begging to suck the dick of?
Oh, I knew who that friend was.
So was there truth to that?
No.
No.
So that friend I met, we actually went out on a date. And that was in 2019. That's who he was talking about. He was
But it
talking
was
about somebody.
vintage tea he was bringing up as a read in 2020.
Yeah. 2019. His friend was very nice. He took me to the Juicy Crab. He paid for it. It was so nice. And I went home. There was no exchange. We never touched. But I think I did tell him I ain't gonna lie now. I think I told him to pull it out, and he did. I just looked at it.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little show and tell.
Yeah, it was a little show and tell, but I hit it to the house because
boys will be boys.
Yeah, I told him to pull it out, but he did, and it was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't want none of that. It was a lot. Nice, but it was a lot. I don't want to.
What do you think is the obsession with people wanting you to be a hoe? Because this running theme came up on G Status. Is showing up in chasing. What do you think people's obsession is around your sex life and or trying to make you a hoe? What is it? What have you made of this?
I think it's kind of like I'm friendly, but I'm also kind of like I don't really have sex with a lot of people in this realm. And so if they feel like they have a little hint of somebody that I messed with, or they can say that about me because they know I'm really not going to like rebuttal. Like, I mean, if they say something about me, I can only be like, no, that didn't happen. And most people will want to not believe it because it's already been a thing. I think they just piggyback off of other people saying it, possibly. But that's all I can really think of. I think they feel like that's the way to hurt me. But it's really not, because we all is fucking out here. We all having little sex. So I don't see.
No, what I'm saying. There ain't no
I don't see what the big deal
it
is.
ain't no
I'm not having any, but it's like, baby, if that's what you need to use, I hope it works out, because you got to find somebody that actually did it with me. I don't know, to make it true.
My God. Okay, super quick. Dominique. Dominique is getting some pushback regarding his energy towards Q's essay, which you gave a disclaimer at this reunion. I got my issues with Q, but I am participating in none of that. I feel sorry for what happened to him. I'm praying for him. You made that clear.
Very.
Dominique and Q's relationship. So Dominique was accused of reposting his mugshot, etc. Do you think that was shady on Dominique's part? I mean, y'all are part of an ensemble cast. You're trying to get to know these guys. This guy here was missing from the season largely because of his legal issues. You're kind of taunting that. He's already expressed how embarrassing and humiliating this was for him. Did you feel like this was diabolical of Dominique to do? And I don't know Dominique because I haven't watched any of the season of Chasing, but is this also a part of his pathology? Because some people accuse Dominique of being a narcissist and a mean girl. Is that the role he plays in Chasing?
I think Dominique, well, I know Dominique to be, he plays a lot. He loves to play, and I think he plays a lot because he enjoys making TV. He's kind of like the softer version of Nova, to be honest. Like they just up here making TV. And he's just gonna do whatever, and he'll apologize for it later. Now, should you believe those apologies? If you want to,
my God,
if you want to believe, you want to believe those apologies, you can. I believe Dominique. I mean, I've known Dominique for quite some time, so whenever he does something, I be like, bitch, why are you doing that? Trying to hold him accountable. You be looking like, girl. But he apologizes, and he do mean it, but he don't mean it enough to not do something else to you, if that makes sense.
See, somebody's saying right now that Neek spirit is off to them. Did you feel like with you and Neek and Carl having history that Neek threw y'all under the bus this season? Do y'all feel like he leaned another way.
Yeah, he threw us
Okay.
under the bus. That bitch, then he wasn't fucking with. Well, he wasn't fucking with me particularly. I was like, God damn, I'm like, bitch, where you at? I haven't really talked to Dominique very often, but you know, when I see him, and I say, hey, you know, it just is what it is. I thought we would be closer this season, but we weren't, and it just, and
And what
I
y'all have been
I'll chalk it up to either he really wanted to be over in the elite spot, but I do know he's going through some things, you know, privately. So I'll just leave him alone about what's going on right now. But when we was filming, I was like, bitch, this bitch don't like me.
So y'all weren't supposed to be closer in your mind because y'all had did some sword fighting in the past. Was it
We
because
never
of that?
sword fighting. We did some tonsil hockey, but no sword.
I mean, he said there might have been a little bit of sword fighting.
Nah, it would have been if he came over to the house, which he was never invited to. Let's be clear. But
And
no,
why
we
wasn't
did some
she
tonsil
invited?
hockey, not no sword fighting.
Okay. All right.
Sword fighting was a no. Tonsil hockey, yes.
Is Dominique and Q at a point of no return as well? As far as you know?
I can't speak for that, but I will say that when there's a will, there's a way with them two. Dominique really don't give a fuck either way. To be honest, I'm gonna tell you this now. Dominique don't give a fuck either way. If Q starts coming at him with a different angle of friendship and whatever the case may be, and he shows himself to be like a little bit better or more held up. I don't know, because Dominique respects a held up type of bitch. You know what I'm saying? And Q's been emoting a lot. Your your favorite emoting.
Yes.
He's been emoting a lot, which to his credit or whatever, I understand it. I understand what's been going on now because we saw the episode just like everybody else. Like the whole time we were filming, I didn't know that those things actually happened to him until I saw it on TV, like everybody else.
But you do know who did know and who apparently wanted the world to know, which was dun, 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 Mr. Binge Worthy, a former producer on the show who 3 months ago had quite a bit to say about his experience with chasing, and it kind of really shocked the web series sector and created a lot of conversation. And I believe Binge-worthy, right, came up in Alfia's conversation with Andario about how she apparently was told that she was supposed to be playing the ghetto broke single mama trope this season, and that's
that
why
shocked the hell out of me. I was like, wait, what?
that was a lie.
That was a lot. I can't believe he said that.
So speaking of him, I'm sure you've seen this interview. I have questions.
I have not seen the interview. I've only heard about it.
Oh my God, Tramel, Jesus Christ. What was his production style? And what was his time as a producer? Like, how long was Binge-worthy around? Was he around for half the season? Did he go toward the end of the season? What happened?
Binge-worthy was around from April to probably the second week of May. So a month and a half, maybe.
Only a month and a goddamn half, Jesus Christ.
But I'm talking about filming wise, but he was a producer.
Oh.
I think they started, working on producing the show in December of 2024. They was working with him and they had auditions in I think January. I want to say January. Yeah, and then we started filming in April, and he was gone. I want to say the middle of May. I want to say.
Did he give a formal goodbye? Did y'all know he had left? Did he tell y'all that he had left, or was there anything, or he just wasn't around? Like y'all just woke up and he just wasn't on set no more?
Yeah, so he sent us an email. He sent us all cast members. He sent us an email, just stating his departure. They him and the other producer that left, Matthew, he did the same, and also the hot dog man Sebastian also sent an email saying that he told us in the group chat that he was no longer gonna be filming. He just didn't believe in the production. Well, he didn't say that. He just said he wanted to step away. I don't know. But I think he just left because Bingeworthy was his person. So he was just like, yeah, if you're not going to be here, I'm not going to stay here.
Yeah. So Althea made that shocking claim against Bingeworthy on part 3 of the reunion. And then he also made some interesting claims of his own. He claimed that he wanted you solo, but that producers, aka JT and Jamar, wanted you paired with Carl because they felt that you were not strong enough as a solo feature and that he had to really fight for you, and he was actually kind of shocked that he had to fight for you. What do you say to that? What do you understand about that? Do you believe Bingeworthy's claims?
So I believe that I was always kind of like in the conversation about it all. I think that they didn't necessarily say that they didn't want me. This is what I truly believe, but they definitely wanted Carl to be on the season, and they were using our friendship as a like a kind of a like a
It's a launching pad.
as a launching pad to get that plane off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that word. They definitely wanted to see that dynamic play out.
But why do you think they felt like they needed to do that when Carl had also expressed that he'd been wanting to do Chase, and it ain't like they couldn't have just hired him from the beginning? So what?
Well, they gave Bingeworthy a lot of power, from what I'm told. He had a very, very, very heavy hand in the casting, and he did not want Carl. So he did not want Carl in any capacity. But JT, I know for sure, and I know Jamar obviously wanted Carl on the show because, you know, they know that he's going to bring a certain level of drama, if you will. And if the cast that they had that they looked at, they was kind of like, well, if they don't work out, at least we know Carl will kind of like carry it over. You get what I'm saying? So they just wanted, I think they really wanted that dynamic. It wasn't, I think I was just collateral damage in the conversation, to be honest. I feel like they were both sides were, if they were talking about it, they were both using me as a way to like outdo the other, if that makes sense.
How does that
needs to stand on his own, because I think it would be very compelling to tell his story by himself. You know what I'm saying? That's his argument. Like, I think it'll be very good to see him in a different dynamic with a different group of people. Whereas these other people, whereas JT and Jamar are probably like, and this is just a probably.
Speculation.
Because I guess this is more of a speculation and a more of like, I know them particularly and what they would say. It's like Carl would be very good for the show. Carl would definitely bring that high energy factor. And I think him and Tramel, they bounce off of each other very well. And Carl will gas Tramel up, and Tramel will be there to calm Carl down.
Basically.
Like, I'll be his handler and he'll be mine. I'm like, yeah, that whole thing we've heard like our whole togetherness, you know, it can be a compliment and a curse at the same time, because it's like he should be able to be on this show by himself without me, and I should be able to be on this show without him. And if we're both called together, it should be a mutual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here together as individuals acting out this friendship dynamic versus he got to be here for me and I got to be here for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that just diminishes both of us.
Give me a yes or no to what I just put in the private chat.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Okay. So apparently there were other comments that you became aware of that were made on the producer's part, allegedly, that producers also felt like you were, for whatever reason, too mentally unstable to be on the show. What in the fuck is that about? Who are you at liberty to say who that came from, and who did they say actually made?
Well, Bingeworthy said that in JT's live after this interview happened. Well, after this segment happened, he said in the live, I saw the words. He said, well, you were the one who said that Tramel wasn't mentally stable enough to be on a show without Carl. You say this about your friend. And to that I say, She told me that she never said that, but I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way in hell she actually, if she did say that she could actually believe that, because Carl is not nobody's mental stability. Okay, sweetheart.
Oh my God. Shout out to Carl.
Shout out to Carl, but Carl is not nobody. Carl K. Star is nobody's mental stability.
My God.
Okay, he does not help with the mental stability of
Yeah,
anyone in any shape,
I'm actually
form.
I'm actually the mental stability.
Right. Like if I ever really need to call someone,
Yeah.
I definitely have other options that are so much better. So that was a crock of shit. If I ever did hear it, I was like, "Oh baby, that is definitely not Carl is the one to get me up out of bed at night." I'm like, "Ooh."
Okay, but what the fuck was transpiring that you like? Where do you think that came from? What the hell? What were they perceiving as? Oh, Tramel is so unstable and he's so out of it, and he's in need of such intercession.
I don't know where that, but Benchworthy said it, and I was just
You've
like,
never given
Bookie.
any of that. You've never given any of that. I mean, maybe. Do you think that maybe this was because of the loss of your loved one? Maybe they felt like, okay, he needs an anchor. He probably, you know,
No,
like,
that didn't even happen until way after.
What?
He passed away in June. He passed away on Dominique's birthday, June 6th. We was talking about this filming in February, March. It's like this whole casting thing.
Wow. So going back to his comments about Jamar, them basically not wanting you or feeling like you were a weak casting, but did you ever have a conversation with Jamar? And what was Jamar's feedback?
Jamar just checks on me, and I appreciate it. He was just like, like I support. I was like, yes, Jamar, I know. So with Jamar, I don't really have to question, because I feel like Jamar would tell me everything that I need to know when I need to know it. And these conversations that Benchworthy was having, I mean, Jamar told me, I think he told me the parts was like, yeah, he was really advocating for you, and he didn't really want Carl. And I was like, I can piece together the rest from there. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't understand. I understand why he did it, because he wanted to throw a monkey wrench in the system a little bit and probably get a little content and finally like put it out and and further push himself away from the show, because it was announced that he left when we were still filming when we first started. And then a whole year later, almost a year later, you're like, yeah, let me put this out. It's like, like a day before the premiere of the first, when we having our premiere show. I was like, oh, this is very calculated, but cute. Them Aquarians, you gotta love them. Swear to God.
Oh God, that's what Benchworthy is.
On my birthday, what a hater, ain't?
Oh my God, I'm screaming.
God bless.
Oh, Darius Aquarius too?
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Baby, that's a dangerous set right there. That's a dangerous set. My God.
The day before the premiere, he dropped that, and he tried to throw a monkey wrench in the system. I was like, Bookie, what are you doing?
Okay, so you do feel like some of it probably was exaggerated, and he kind of put 20 on 10 to.
Well, I don't know exactly,
because it was clear that he had.
From what I heard he put a lot of things on it, and that's
why I'm saying, because it was clear that he had a lot to say about Jamar, and I'm thinking maybe he put 20 on 10 when it came to speaking about Jamar's sentiments about you. Apparently, I mean, either that's true or not true. Only they know what the hell is true. But I mean, he definitely has some things to say about Jamar. But
the thing was, is like, I don't understand like how they could have. And from what I saw, from my vantage point, and the filmings that I saw with him and Jamar, they just were.
Yeah, your audio's out.
Hello.
Okay, you're back. Yes.
So it's like it was like a working environment, and it was just a thing. Okay. I mean, they didn't interact like in a negative way with each other. And from my vantage point, they was just cool.
Even killed and professional, right? But in the background, there was a you're mute again. Okay, you're back.
My mama is calling me. There's something wrong.
I kind of feel bad for holding you up a little bit, but Can you
I'm
text
gonna
her?
have to go in a minute because my mama told me there's
Love.
something
All right,
wrong.
so let's speed through. Because speaking, okay, well, so let's click back to Dominique first of all. So Dominique had a conversation. Not Dominique. So Troy, another Chasing Reality alum, recently sat down with Ike from G Status and Pop the Balloon, Finding Queer Love, etc. And he unloaded his situation with Dominique and claimed that practically Dominique was trying to suck his man's dick. And he never, I guess, confronted Dominique over. He took his man's word. They already had, I guess, some tension going on in their friendship, etc. Do you believe Troy's tea, or how do you feel about what Troy had to say about Dominique?
Whether I believe it or not, I guess this is like that's not my place to say. I don't really see Dominique in that light of doing those types of things. But everything is possible under the sun. I can't say that, but I will say that it was very, 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 very strange that Troy would do this at this particular time. It's like, damn, it's right before the goddamn reunion again, and it's like, wait, what? What?
You think that
And it's just like kind of dropped out of nowhere, and it was kind of like
promo package.
I watched it because I just want to support Troy for the most part because I like Troy and I wanted him on this season with us. So to find out like that was part of like one of the reasons why he didn't want to come back, I was just like, girl. I was like, why did you do why? It was just more like a why, and I don't understand why. But it's his story to tell, I suppose. But it was just very, very, very strange to me. I don't think you needed to tell nobody that. He said I know Troy to be a very private person, and he was in a relationship with somebody that I knew that he had a man. But he never really talked about his man on social media whatsoever. It was one of those things like y'all are private. But I was just like, girl, I don't think nobody asked for this, Bookie. Nobody asked for that, and you gave it to us. But I guess you don't want to be friends with Dominique no more.
No, it was the opposite. He was like, I'm open. He was like,
if you was open, you would have just called.
He said
him,
no.
Bookie.
He even said he even went and got his dog groomed by Dominique, even after apparently his man telling him all this about Dominique. So
baby, you would have called him, Bookie.
Well, to your point, I think you clocked it. I mean, he probably is setting up a storyline because he wants to make a grand entrance for next season, and he's giving, Andario some content to work with regarding his entrance into season 8.
More power, I guess. More power to him.
Has Dominique responded to Troy?
I have not talked to Dominique about that. I hope Dominique is well. I just because it's a lot to just like lose your friend and then have somebody jump online and say those things about you, and you're just like, girl, what I do? Because from from just looking at it from outside looking in, obviously, they haven't. This was like 2 years ago. Maybe. So it's like, why now? I don't know.
Jesus. All right. So we went there to go here. It's interesting that Ike, one of your former castmates from G Status, you guys had a short-lived romantic arc in the season. And
one date. Yeah, I mean,
that was when you and G Status shy. And it was interesting because he told Troy, he was like, oh, if a bitch basically had tried him like that, it's no coming back from that. Like, girl, ain't no conversation we gonna have. I ain't getting my poodle chiseled down by you, girl. Ain't nothing taking place of the sort. I'm up. And the irony about that is I've been told, and word on the curb is that Ike allowed your ex to give him fellatio at your ex's birthday, which you weren't even invited to.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I heard that on TTB. Well, that's what they told me, or they tried to tell me, or whatever. They both told me that that didn't happen, and I don't know. I was not there. Like you said, I was not invited. And if they did do that, more power to them. I have no problems with. I've never really had a problem with Ike, to be honest, and I still don't. It's just I was in a very tumultuous relationship with somebody who really was just did not really give a fuck about me. So every other relationship outside of that was kind of like disposable in my mind, but also kind of like I respected Ike and I respect like his voice. I respect his singing. I respect his music. I even watch his Pop the Balloon stuff. I think the shit is funny. Uh and I think he's doing a very good job over there with that. And so I do think it's unfortunate that those things were said and brought to light. Because also, like Troy, I'm a very private person. So, like, if I was in my relationship with somebody, and to have that played out in front of 300 and so people at that time was kind of like it was unnerving, it was embarrassing, and it was something that I would never wish on my worst enemy. But like I said before, I didn't watch the things that he said about me or the things that my ex said about me. And I wish them nothing but the best, because at the end of the day, we all still got to live. And that was a time. That was a time that played into a little bit of my mental health at the time. But actually, I was kind of like in a better space when that actually happened. So it's cool.
So, considering that Troy may be a pending future castmate, Ike has also already been on Chasing a season of Chasing Reality himself.
Hmm.
Considering that thing there is there, where are you with Ike? Are y'all able to be friends? Is this someone you feel you can trust? Like, what just where are you considering what the rumors are?
Um, I don't know. I see him in passing sometimes. Of course, I mean we see each other in passing. We don't address each other whatsoever. I'm not sure, but to be honest, the space that I'm in now, if I can make, if he wants to talk, I will be open to it. To be honest, I would be open to
Really?
talking and just burying the hatchet. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily think that we could ever really truly like be
Friends,
friends. We're
but be
different people now,
cordial.
and I think he's a different person. I know I'm a different person, so I don't think we could ever be
And he
friends
has a
just
man
based off of
now,
that.
so you ain't got to worry about him wanting your man.
Huh?
I said he got a man now, so you ain't got to worry about him wanting your man.
Who got a man? He got a man?
Ike got a man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good. I'm happy for
yeah.
him.
He said that in the Troy interview. He said
Oh, he did.
he booed up now. Yep, he got a
Oh, that's
man. Yep.
nice. Oh no, I'm happy for him. I'm happy
So
he
the
got a
streets are
man.
safe, girl. Okay, it's safe.
Ah! Now they say from Ike.
The streets are safe. Yeah.
No,
All right.
congratulations, Ike. I'm happy for
Yeah.
him. No, I'm
Congratulations,
really happy
Ike.
for I'm really happy for him, because I know that like when we were like cool and when we were friends, like love was something that he struggled with, finding again, even
Mhm.
within like, just comfortability in himself outside of, a partner, because he was always in relationships. So him being outside of a relationship, he was kind of like, just trying to find his way. So
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy he found somebody.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Ike and the somebodies that he's found. Okay, we're going to conclude with Carl, because speaking of
Ah!
all, we're going to conclude with Star, even though I still got at least a page worthy, but we can probably come back another time, child. So speaking of binge worthy's comments, etc., about wanting you, not Carl, whatever his issue is with Carl. And shout out to Carl because he did turn up season 7.
Mhm.
But really, like everybody was really turned uppy. So that was very interesting. But speaking of Carl, so there is a sentiment around you that for some viewers that Tramel can't hold his own. He always needs a storyline, or he always needs to jump off. Da 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 da. Do you feel Carl is a shield, and do you feel you need him for a storyline? Do you feel like your season performance would have been fine even without him? And like, how do you feel about some of the people who feel that way about you?
I'm working.
He's coming too. He's coming, girl. I'm about to set him free.
Yeah, but hold on. So okay, so sorry. Lord have mercy. So when it comes to Carl, I
Yes.
think that Carl has a certain type of personality that he would shine over everybody. So when he came into this group, like y'all acting like I'm the only person that he was like over talking and or
Yeah.
you know just stunting on, not stunting on, but he was just kind of like, child. He was loud and
Yeah.
he was pretty much shining and yelling over everybody in the room. So he was gonna do that anyway. So why does it? I'm trying to figure out like why people always exclusively put that on me as if there were not 9 other individuals in the room.
Yeah.
Or I guess 8 other individuals in the room with me and Carl. Like there are 8 other personalities in there, and y'all all yell about Carl and saying that, oh, he outshined Tramel. What am I supposed to do? Carl is yelling. Carl is yelling about what he wants to yell about. What they got to do with me? I'll be trying to figure that out.
And why do you take the consequences for what Carl does? You get blamed for what Carl does. People want to slap you instead of slapping him. Yeah. Well, what is all of that coward energy about from them hoes?
I think it's easier for them to see that Carl is somebody who doesn't give a fuck. So if they were to battle with him and or argue with him, as is very well clear, they're going to have to actually
commit to that.
They have to commit to that. But they know with me, I think they seen with me that after a while, I kind of like, I'll argue with you a little bit. But then once I get my clarity, because with me, I take the clarity from the actions and the observations of the situation and how you behave. I'm not going to keep rehashing something until you say something. Carl needs that verbal.
Yeah.
He needs the verbal finish. I don't need that. So with Carl, like let's say he were to get into it with somebody on the cast, he would first address them about the problem. And if they didn't give him an answer that he liked, he would keep on going until he got one.
Such a damn troll.
Yeah, and it could go on for days. Like he'll drop something. Like he dropped that shit on Sammy. He said, "Bitch, I got a problem with you, and I'll address it with you in Miami." That was like 2-3 weeks before it happened. You could have told him right there at the Bulldogs, but you wanted to do it on camera.
Yeah, but he wanted the moment, girl. I want the moment.
I ain't say he wanted the moment, but he wanted to do it in front of everybody when everybody was there. He wanted to make sure that they saw him do it.
I want the production. It's a movie, baby.
I want the production. We're on the show. Yeah. So I want to talk about it.
If we're gonna do it, bitch, I might as well make good TV out of it, honey.
I got to make good TV out of this shit. So
we might as well. We're here.
But me personally, when young man said he wanted to slap me, I kind of like went into like, why is he trying to do this? Instead of actually asking him, I waited to see what he would actually do. And I let him show his hand. And what he showed me was like, oh, girl, okay. Now I can get you. So that's what happened in part 3.
Jesus.
Because I was actually, for me, the situation was so small because I knew what he said in the beginning was very true. We never had a problem. We never had an issue. We were cool. I was trying to hang out with this man, outside of filming or whatever. I was like, well, it was one time I was like, oh, he said he wanted to go to the movies. I was like, oh, I'll go with you, whatever, like friends. Like we hung out a few times at spaces like parties and clubs and stuff like that outside of filming. And so when he said what he said to me about slapping me, and I was just like, okay, even though I would say, okay, I called him Malcolm X, and then I did tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Of
course, because he said to me, you ain't been saying nothing, and you just sitting there and ain't saying nothing. I said, well, I will if you just shut the fuck up. And then he said he wanted to slap me. So that's how we got there. So I wasn't like necessarily confused about how we got there, but I was confused as to why you were so mad. And I knew that he had a problem with how I addressed him. But I didn't think I knew he had deeper issues that had nothing to do with me. So I was going to let those play out and let him come to his senses. And if he apologized, I can apologize. Or if I apologize, he apologized. And we could just move past it. Then what happened in Miami was he started, jumping around, throwing boots and shit and bottles and wine and threatening people. And I was just like, oh, is he really mad? So then I watched the show and he's doubling down on things that he's saying about me. And I'm like, oh, you really don't like me. And now I got people attacking me in my DMs. Now I got to get you.
Well, it was a good thing that Carl came on to the damn show, because there's no telling how much them hoes would have turned up on you,
They
thinking
wouldn't have
that.
turned up on me. I think they did, like Carl said, they did a lot of stuff in the group chat. Now I would have been one to let them do their little weird shit in the group chat and let it go. But Carl didn't allow that stuff to happen. He would pick out the things that they would do in the group chat, and he would bring it up on camera.
So speaking of that, how do you feel about Carl forging a relationship to your perceivable ops at that point? Do you feel he could have did better as an ally and a friend to you in situations like that? Because I know when it comes to friendship, things get real interesting. And now for me, I'm really big on loyalty. I don't mind my friends' ops being my ops too, because I don't give a fuck about you, bitch. And if my friend don't fuck with you, ho, I don't fuck with you either. I don't even really see it for you, honestly. Like, if you got a real nasty whatever towards somebody that I love, I can't really compartmentalize that or separate that. So I just got to stand on the side of what I fucking love. But everybody is very different. And I know y'all are a part of a ensemble cast, and there's kind of got to be some interaction, even though the most was clicking up and didn't give a fuck about the click ups. But how do you feel? Like, how did you feel? Did it bother you on any level? Did you feel like, you ain't gotta be trying to, you can be all right with them hoes. You ain't gotta be having tea and crumpet with them bitches. You ain't gotta be going to shandies without telling me. You ain't gotta be trying to like get at the table. Like, how did you feel about that? Did you feel that way about it, or you didn't feel that way about it?
I felt a little slighted. I ain't even gonna hold you, because it was kind of like, okay, these people have been like dropping like the ball with the bringing us together or whatever the case may be. And so when he actually decided to go meet up with them and hang out with them, and he didn't tell me, I think that was the problem that really got me, because he could have just told me that it was going on. Like, I will say, historically, Carl is one of those type of people. He don't pick and choose like, oh, if you're not friends with them, I won't be friends. Like, Carl is gonna be friends with anybody who's cool to him. If they cool to him, he'll keep them around. Child, I never would put him in that category of, bitch, if you're not loyal to me, I can't be friends with you. He's not gonna do that. He not gonna do that. So it's fine, but you gotta have a certain sense of like, girl, you gotta tell me what's going on now. Why Sammy over here telling me that you was hanging out with them, and then you was over and then you see in the episode, you got Q over there saying Carl over here with us, and he done elevated past Tramel's bitch ass and I'm like,
so they kind of used his friendliness really against you to make it look a certain
I wouldn't say they made it look a certain way, but it did look a certain way.
I was making it look that way.
I mean, I'm not saying they particularly use it, but how it would look to an audience person. I'm like, oh, like they letting.
I mean, but they're the one who said it. Carl over here, he done transcended.
Right.
Tramel.
But the man of the hour was actually saying that, and the rest of them was just sitting there like, So I give, it's whatever. It's whatever. It didn't work.
So my question to you is, what will you prefer from your friends? Like in your ideal world where Tramel could have it his way, what would you prefer from your?
No, if I prefer it the way it is, but I need, like you do.
Mm-hmm.
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed. Okay.
So just keep me abreast. And that's all. I'm cool with abreastedness.
Yeah. Not abreastedness.
A breastedness. I don't want nobody, to be honest. I don't want to, like they say, Carl got to fight for me. Carl got to fight for me. Carl ain't never had to fight me. If he was fighting for me, he wouldn't have never hung out with them bitches in the first place. You don't hang out with bitches. I'm not even talking about the cast. I'm talking about bitches in period. Like, he talked to everybody that I don't like. It's like, because I don't have no problems with nobody on the cast anymore. So, like, definitely we all gonna be hanging out. We all gonna be cool. But like, in the past, like, Carl's hung out with a bunch of bitches that I don't like. He cool with all of them. And this is like,
Carl said, all friends matter, girl. All lives matter. Really?
All lives matter. And I'm happy. I love that for him. But just tell me what's going on.
Yeah. Just keep you abreast of it.
Just keep me abreast of it.
Final question. Looking back over the season, given everything, would you change bringing Carl into the fold?
Why do people think I brought him on this show?
I mean, because obviously, like that's the way it looks. You go find
That's the
Carl.
way it look. I know,
Yeah,
but no,
you
I
sit
would.
down with
I was
him, you
glad that Carl
brief
was
him
there.
about everything. So, how do you feel looking back, given that some fans felt like, girl, you let Carl outshine you should have, like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like
Fuck them? No, I'm glad Carl was there. Fuck them. I'm glad Carl was there. Carl wanted this more than I did, so I'm glad that he was there. I was advocating for Carl more than I was advocating for myself. I didn't audition in the beginning because I wanted Carl to have it. Like, well, not that I was gonna get it over him, but you know, I just didn't. I was like, girl, I didn't want to take away nothing from him by just him feeling like we got to be, you know, together. I want him to do his own thing.
It's actually really dope that you guys got to do this together and mutually, and y'all got to have this experience together. And I do like y'all together. I think that people try to give you a hard time about that, but it really does work. Like, we love dynamic duos. We got Phaedra and Portia. We had Nene and Kim. You know, we love a dynamic duo, and you and Carl are the perfect. Y'all the perfect dichotomy. Y'all are.
We are.
Sides of the same coin in that sense. So
if we both get picked up for season 8, it might be a little bit different. I'll talk about that later when it happens.
What? I love
no, we not roommates no more. So what we gonna do?
Look, new house, new car, 2 husbands. You got it going on right now. This was riveting. Thank you for coming here and bearing your soul. I did block the 3 of your friends who were trying to get you up out of here. I had to block another one, child. Yes, we'll talk about that later.
We're gonna talk about that later, undisclosed.
Yes, and you gonna get in them hoes' ass. Don't y'all ever disrespect my bitch.
I got you. But guess what?
Girl, he works for me, girl. He works.
I'm gonna undisclose you in a minute. Wait. I gotta call my mom.
All right. Well, tell these folks where they can find you at.
Y'all better follow me at @IAM_Tramel. That's IAM_TRAMEL. And you know, I love y'all. Thank you so much for having me. And you know, I'll be back. I'll be back one of these days when the next time I got something going on.
Yes. Call. Don't be a stranger. Call mama back. Go cook for your man. And
I already cooked for his ass. I'm calling my mom. Mama called me twice. I'm scared now because she'll never call me. All right.
Hit me on the undisclosed.
I will hit you on the undisclosed.
Bye.
Bye.
That's Tramel, you guys. His links are in the description box below. Lots to unpack. I think season 8 is going to be absolutely incredible, girl, especially if Miss Troy come back and get into the things with Miss Dominique, if Miss Ike returns, girl, and the things between Tramel and Ike. And season 7 really did understand the assignment. It produced all of this conversation. And once again, shout out to the cast. Shout out to Undario for a great season. Without this season, we could not have had the conversations around race and colorism and the queerness and straightness and all the things. So lots of great dialogue got to happen due to the things that played out. And I think that, you know, the CEO can press the gas and then some on that. So I hope the cast takes the meat and spit out the bone as it relates to separating constructive criticism from just flat out criticism. And we look forward to future seasons of Chasing Reality. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the Chasing Reality YouTube channel. If you did not get to catch this season, please tune in. Support Carl, support Jamar, support Tramel, support Undario, support the people, okay? Because it's a really great season, and the reunion was really fucking epic. So this is it. This is all. Season 8. I will be in the building. I will be reviewing the fuck out of Chasing Atlanta. Okay, season 8 for sure. I'm mad that I let the window pass, but I'm gonna be in the building then. Okay, if you guys enjoyed yourself, share, subscribe. You can always donate to the platform at $Consciouztv on Cash App and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv. You can email me all the things at Consciouztv. Follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv. Sign up to Patreon at Consciouztv. All donation information and social media handles are in the description box below. Good night and God bless. I'm out.